So it was tied.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Tulane.
Boy, that's a bad beat. That instead of giving up the field goal, oh my goodness.
And I don't know if Tulane's thinking we got to have style. I mean, you just win that conference and you're in.
Right. Yes, he had a bad kicker.
No, he kicked 4 field goals in the first half. ECU, which Jacob texted me because they stopped him 4 times close. ECU apparently has the 6th ranked red zone defense in the country. They stopped him down low. One of them was a little longer field goal, but they stopped him in the red zone 3 times in the first half. ECU scores, gets a turnover, scores again. Then they pooch it and get it. They got a field goal and a touchdown. They pooch kick, and the ball bounces like dead left. They land on it. They take a 17-12 lead. It was 17-12. Then they scored again, went for 2. It was a fun little game. I was watching that more than I put the. I mean, hockey. I by way. Oh God, 5-1 first game. They can't play
first game.
They were awful.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this predominantly Football Friday.
Football Friday.
How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. We have a lot of football to talk about. Lee Sterling will make his picks in an hour. Pat Kirwan to break down the NFL in a big way in 2 hours. But we do have to lead with baseball.
Yes, we do.
I can't remember a team losing and having their season end on such a routine play.
I don't know right now if I'm doing the show with Jim Mandich, Jim Rome, or David Moulton, because these pauses are so long, I don't know whether or not I'm supposed to speak.
I don't know what to say. I can't imagine being a Phillies fan. I'm not. And I'm like, OMG, what just happened? Now, can we have a do-over? Wait, what? Please tell me this was spring training and no, he made the wrong decision. You don't go home, you go to first.
And your catcher is clearly pointing to first. I mean, the catcher's job is to run the infield. On plays like that, the catcher tells you where to go. He had plenty of time to throw the ball to first base. As I said to David before we started the show, I'm not sure if the throw is accurate. They get the runner at home. That guy's way down the third baseline. He's leaving on contact. He already has a bit of a jump. He's 8-10 feet off the bag by the time the pitch is thrown. And the catcher is clearly telling the pitcher to throw it to first base. And as Dave O'Brien said on the radio call, he shot-putted it to the backstop. Everything about the play was wrong. Everything about it. I mean, and if you're the Phillies right now, the Dodgers score a run because you walked one in to give them their only run, and then an error by the pitcher to cost the Phillies the opportunity to come back in the 12th and continue the game. No telling whether or not the Phillies win. It would have been 1-1 going to the 12th. But goodness gracious.
And not only that, season ending and quite possibly regime ending. They've got Realmuto and Schwarber as free agents, along with one of their pitchers. and they could be going in different directions here. Schwarber was taking a defeat as hard as anybody could take it. I give the young 24-year-old pitcher credit. He stood there and faced the media. I mean, he was fighting back, breaking down, but he answered the questions. Whew. Man. I mean, when everybody nationwide is watching the play, and as he decides to shot put it to the backstop, we are all jumping out of our seat at the same time, yelling, "No!" Oh, my goodness. I feel, and I'm a Mets fan, and we're supposed to hate the Phillies, although I never have. But, oh, my goodness.
And I wanted Game 5. I said it before the series started. I thought the Dodgers would win. I was rooting for the Phillies for whatever reason. I don't know if it goes back to Tug McGraw. I've always had a soft spot for the Philadelphia Phillies.
And for me, it was Michael Jack Schmidt and Harry Callis calling the games.
And certainly love Schmidt and Steve Carlton and all the great Phillies from days gone by when I fell in love with the game of baseball. But could you ask for a worse night as a fan of a team and city? Because after you're laying down on your living room floor and someone walks in with steel-toe boots and kicks you in the onions, the Giants demolish your football team. You got beat by your own guys, and then you got scatterbooed. Rough night in the city of brotherly love and all the Philly fans that are out there.
Is that a thing now? Scatterbooed?
It is to me. I love them. Come on. I mean, I know you don't, your team's not that good. And the Giants and Rangers are your two favorite teams. And you've said it many times on this show. The Giants have given you enough wins for a lifetime. They have.
They owe me nothing.
But sometimes a player comes along and you can't help but fall in love with him. And we saw this guy do it, not until late last year. No one can act like they watched Scatterboo all year last year at Arizona State.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, Big 12 championship game, college football playoff, we went, who the hell is this guy and how much fun is he to watch? And he ends up with the Giants, and you don't know with a player like that if Saturday can translate to Sunday, and we don't know for how long it will translate on Sunday. But damn it, do some more backflips for me, kid. I'm ready. I'm in.
And that's not easy.
I don't care about the Giants one bit. I never have, but I like him. He's fun. Rookie quarterback, rookie running back. They're beating teams they're not supposed to beat. Come on. That's, as a neutral sports fan, that's fun. That's all we ask for.
Plus, they lined up and did to Philadelphia what Philadelphia has done to teams for 4 years. They just ran it down there and shoved it up there.
You throw the fact in, their hockey team lost. And, I mean, the only good thing was, I don't know if the Sixers had a preseason game, but Embiid didn't get hurt last night.
It's because he's already hurt and he's not playing. Oh, man. I wanted to check in with our buddy Rob Ellis, WIP in Philly. Figure I'll wait till after the show. He had to do double post game last night. Oh, man.
Ouch.
Whew.
Although, David, we've said it before, nights like that, it is pretty easy, particularly if you're doing a call-in show. You just give the phone numbers and kick your feet up and say, caller, you're on the air.
Yep. Only 2 hours and 20 more minutes of the Phillies and Eagles post game. Okay. To Westchester we go. Charlie, I won't ask how are you. I know how are you. And they just start talking. I don't know what to say. I've never seen anything like this.
And Major League Baseball made the decision to play that game earlier so it didn't overlap with the Eagles game. It did because it went extras. But Philly fan, you got to watch basically all of the misery for 6 hours.
Wow, what a night. What a night. But baseball, although not for you, because you have a deciding game 5 tonight with the best pitcher in the American League going for your team. So, hey, if you can't win with him on the hill, they're better than you.
Right.
Period.
And Seattle's had his number this year, not just in the second game of the playoffs, but during the regular season as well. So can Scooble beat Seattle? But the Cubbies force a game 5, and what a scene in Wrigley last night.
Cubs win. Cubs win.
So a fun sports night. Man, there was a lot to watch last night.
Yes, there was.
I mean, Seth Everett would have been proud of me. I had Amazon Prime, YouTube TV, and ESPN Plus all working last night.
Nice.
A little hockey, a little football, a little baseball, and a little college football as well, as we head into a fantastic college football weekend. Some really big games all over the country. Teams that have playoff hopes, will they be dashed already this weekend? Or will certain teams start raising their hand and say, don't forget about us?
Which team has the best chance to rise up this weekend and do what, quite frankly, Denver, Jacksonville, and New England did in the NFL last week? Missouri against Alabama. Indiana against Oregon.
Hell, Texas against Oklahoma.
Well, come on now.
I know. But the way they played last week, the way they've looked, they've got to respond.
I understand, but I'm just talking about programs that are not considered heavyweights, that have put themselves in a position to be looked at differently.
Indiana, David is talking to you on the road. For a moment in time, David, that game dipped under a touchdown.
Unbelievable how much money was coming in on IU.
It didn't last long. By this morning, it was back to 7.5. Little upset about that personally. Lee Sterling will give us his picks coming up in a little less than an hour. We'll go through a terrific NFL weekend with Pat Kirwan. Miller and Moulton will make their picks. Obviously, we'll talk game 5 in both the divisional series between the Tigers and Seattle, and tomorrow night, the Cubs and Brewers. The Brewers trying to keep on keeping on. We know they've got the Dodgers, whoever wins that game 5. And we know they have the Jays in the American League, but who they will play will be determined over the next 2 days.
If the Brewers win, they have home field. If the Cubs win, the Dodgers, by 1 game, have home field.
The Pelican Roofing of Florida text line is wide open for your thoughts on anything that happened last night, or your thoughts on what's going to happen this weekend. 21,000 is the number. Miller is the keyword. Text to your heart's content. The Gators go on the road after their big victory, the only one they've had this year. What can they do at Kyle Field against A&M? And does Pitt have anything for Florida State? Miller and Moulton on a football Friday. Lee Sterling coming up in
Your
40
roof
minutes.
is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, Michael, you're kind of on an island around here with the NBA season starting soon. Trust me. I know you love your team, but we're not, and our audience doesn't give a rip about the NBA for the most part. Never has. I don't think they ever will. Way to hold a grudge, Puck. That whole China thing was like, Jesus, 7 years ago? The LeBron China thing? I mean, I had the shirt. It might have been longer than we were still, oh, it's longer than that. We were still working here.
No, really?
Yeah, because I had that shirt. You remember with the LeBron and the...
Then that's 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause, I had that. I bought that shirt
Right.
with LeBron and like the the Army outfit. Yes, and the NFL is going to Saudi Arabia. The golf, the LPGA goes there. I just pick your spots, I guess. I mean, if that's the reason you don't like the NBA, they're just trying to get money. I don't, I'll tell you, Michael, give me an NBA storyline to start the season that I should get fired up about. But you can get in bed with a regime that helped fund people for 9/11. I mean, the Saudis. Come on. Hey, I'm just saying. You're okay with the Saudis, but not the Chinese. Okay. I find that interesting. Well, but not the NFL's going there, Puck. I mean, those comedians all just went there. Our government works with them. I mean, don't just get after Liv.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour on a Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. A lot of meat on the college football bone this weekend. Whew, have we got games. And games in which people may lose their job if they don't win. That's the word in Auburn. They're coming for Hugh Freeze unless they can beat the Dogs.
Dogs, a 3.5-point favorite in the oldest rivalry in the South.
What do you think? Think Hugh Freeze can save his job? You think the guys will play for him the way that Napier's boys played for him last week?
I don't think Auburn has nearly the talent that Florida does. Like, Florida has talent. That defense is really good. Auburn's defense pretty good, but offensively, boy, are they challenged. And to me, if you're going to beat Georgia, you've got to be able to score some points. And I don't know if Auburn can. Almost put that on the sheet. I was close.
Gotcha.
Every game that I picked this week, they're all Saturday games, and they all involve at least one team that's ranked. In most cases, both teams are ranked.
I am fascinated by all the money that is coming in on what we would consider the upstart programs. I know they've been ranked before, and I know they have achieved some things recently. But have they beaten a big boy? I'm talking about Missouri and Indiana. And the money is flying in on the Hoosiers. This line opened 9.5, 10. And as Mark commented last segment, for a moment, it got under 7. And then a whole lot of people jumped on Oregon to move it back up from 6.5 to 7.5. But still, the line has moved a ton. And Mark, Bama opened in the 4.5 range. And Missouri's just a 2.5-point dog at home to Alabama.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Just less than you have to give less than a field goal with the Crimson Tide, who I think have found their quarterback.
Yep. It just took a month for the kid at Ohio State, for the kid at Alabama. Didn't take but 3 quarters for the kid in South Bend, Indiana. All right. It just takes just take a breath. Just take a breath. All right. Some of these guys can really play. They just needed to get their feet a little wet. That's all. It's not their fault. Their team scheduled heavyweight matchups coming right out of the chute when they needed 3 to 4 weeks. How was it?
And some teams took 3 or 4 weeks to have a cupcake schedule and then fell on their face. Yes, Penn State, I'm talking to you. So it doesn't always work that way as well.
Nope.
There is no perfect system
Nope.
as to how to design your college football season.
Nope. It's worked for Indiana. They went cupcake, and then, they've taken care of Illinois and Iowa, and they've had 2 weeks to prepare for Oregon. Okay. Let's go. They played 2 heavyweight matchups last year, were outclassed in both. Now, it was the 2 teams that ended up playing for the Natty, but Indiana didn't belong in both, Ohio State and Notre Dame. Now, here we go.
What did they learn? What have they learned? How have they changed? Are they better at the point of attack? Because Oregon for years was a finesse team. They were. They could score 70 on you. In fact, they were kind of like the Miami Dolphins a few years ago. But they learned they couldn't win big games that way. Dan Lanning, since he's come to Oregon from Georgia, has built the Ducks at the line of scrimmage. They're good. And can Indiana hang there on Saturday? The Gators, who are really good at the line of scrimmage and found a stud on offense for the first time in a long time. What do they do in a hostile environment where the team across from them is every bit as good, if not better, at the point of attack? That should be a fun game.
You got the Red River Shootout. I know it's called the rivalry nowadays. But come on now, it's college football. We're not politically correct. It's the shootout, just like it's the cocktail party. And how about the little matchup in the LA Coliseum tomorrow? I mean, Michigan's playing USC, and the game is hardly being talked about. Wow.
Good news, Wolverine fans, because the game's not being played at the Rose Bowl. We all know how well you've done over the years against the Trojans when it's at the Rose Bowl.
Hey-oh! Starting a little early, Ed.
Facts are facts, David.
Yes, they are.
Facts are facts. So, SEC with a great weekend. Couple of really nice Big Ten games. And we haven't even mentioned, a preseason top 10 team that already was throttled by Indiana, but then came back and beat USC. Does Illinois have anything for the Buckeyes? The Buckeyes have won, I think, 10 or 11 straight in this series, and it's been a while since the Illini beat the Buckeyes. But I've seen them do it, and when they do it, it's in Champaign.
Well, it may be in Champaign, but they're a 16-point home dog. And they're ranked in the top 20. And they're a 16-point home dog. Here's what I want to see. When does it happen? Will it happen? Who's the team to make it happen? Can anybody score any points against that Ohio State defense?
Might be the best unit in the country, if you know what I mean.
I'm totally on board with it. There are NFL dudes everywhere, and they could be better next year.
And trust me, Miami, I know your fans are listening, and what are you saying? No. Miami's got dudes, but I don't think they have 11 like the Buckeyes. And I hope when we get to January, Canes, you take care of business, because I'd love to see you line up with the Buckeyes at some point in time during the college football playoff. But right now, that Ohio State defense, that's the best defense in the country.
Yes, it is. And they're being coached by a professional defensive coordinator, and he's coaching them like pros, and they are eating it up because they know that's where they're going next.
Then you look at Sunday and the Bucks and the Niners. they're basically telling Tampa Bay, you want to play a close game? You think you can win? Have you seen what we've done this year?
Hey, you guys have won your 4 games by 9 points. We've won our 4 games by 13, but we've done it half the time with a backup quarterback. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, you throw Teddy Bridgewater in there and tell me how you doing.
Jacksonville off to one of the best starts they've ever had. And yet they're an underdog at home to Seattle?
Oh, no respect. I tell you, no respect at all.
None whatsoever. And then some teams that we've looked at and think maybe they have a little something. Can they continue it? New England, talking to you, going on the road against a team that David and I think would have the first overall pick. Make sure you don't screw it up. And the Dolphins with an opportunity against a very wounded Charger team. But how much do the Miami Dolphins have left in the tank? A great football weekend, some big baseball games, and we'll catch you up on what happened last night. The starting 5 is next.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell them Miller and Moulton sent you. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Michael, I will say, I asked for a storyline to follow, and you gave me a guy getting traded. The NBA offseason sometimes more exciting than the regular season. There's nothing about this regular season that excites me. And I'm not saying that's not a storyline, but the best storyline you can come up with is a guy getting traded. That won't happen until what? When's the trade deadline in basketball? March? So I have to root for the Bucks to implode so they trade their best player to the Knicks. And it's the only team he'd go to. Okay. And, and there's a little point to whoever said, I don't feel like scrolling up, but, the NBA doesn't even think their season starts till Christmas Day. That's their big day. That's their big kickoff. And the East is and you're lucky. You at least live out west where you get to see you get to watch better basketball. The East is dreadful. Dreadful. Boston's all banged up. Miami sucks. I mean, I'm interested to see what Orlando does. Oh, it's the in-season tournament, Adam. Yeah, the in-season tournament. There you go. I like the courts. I mean, the Pacers lost what's-his-face there. He's done for the year with the, most of the year with the injury, so that's a good team. Not the same. Boston, same thing.
God almighty, they're talking NBA shit?
Oh, I am, David. Don't yell at them. I am. I just asked because Michael brought it up. I said, give me the storyline. And he said, Giannis trade. And I said, the best you can do, and I'm not even knocking him, is a trade that would happen in February. And all I said was, at least where he is out in Colorado, you can watch good Western Conference basketball. The East is dreadful. Indiana, that was good. Best player hurt. Boston, that was good. One of their best players hurt. It's just tough to get excited about. I mean, you and I both love the NHL. And in these parts, we've got a great rivalry to pay attention to. And you NBA feds, don't let David bring you down. You want to talk about it? I'm here for you. I'll make fun of you, but I'm here for you. Great win for the Giants. Knocked people out of the Survivor Leagues. Anytime we can take out 6-8 people at a crack, I'm in.
I am surprised anytime somebody gets knocked out of a Survivor League playing a division game.
This early. Sometimes you get to week 13, 14, you don't have much of a choice, but I'm with you there.
A road team on a short week in a division game. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought the Eagles were going to win. I didn't necessarily think they were going to cover, though. So I thought it was going to be a one-score game. That's hysterical, Adam. How are they not ranked? Yeah, I know. How are they not ranked? Let's see. It's their only Power 4 win all year.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, and that's when Lee Sterling will join us to make his picks. Lee had a good week. Lee's had a nice couple weeks here, not just on our show, but for his clients as well. All right. Kind of got off to a little bit of a rough start, was trailing on points heading into the middle rounds of the fight, but he's done some good body work these last couple of weeks. Lee Sterling, top of the hour, picking many a big game here on Miller and Moulton. Time now for...
Whoa. Wrong button.
The starting five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is the starting five.
We'll start with the NFL and a stunner at MetLife in Jersey. The Giants scored some points, and the Giants did it against a team that they have not had a lot of success against for years. The Eagles came into Jersey and got whooped. Giants double them up 34-17. Scattaboo with 98 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Giants outrushed the Eagles by nearly 100 yards, doing to Philly what they have done to so many. Did the Eagles, by the way, help end the tush push after this season by that 4-play sequence in which they ran the tush push 4 times and ultimately got a first down inside the red zone and scored?
It was, David, I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking the same thing. Aesthetically, is there anybody out there that found that to be fun to watch? Anybody? I know, Eagles fan, I know you love it, and we're picking on you. That is gross. That's not football.
Now, if you had waited to the Monday night game against Green Bay and done it, that would have been hysterical because the Packers were the team that officially nominated getting rid of the tush push. That's what we wanted you to do next month on a Monday night at Lambeau. Open the game in that formation and run it 4 times for a first down. That would have been funny. That would have gotten people on your side because that's sarcasm. That's a snark. Okay, I think people would have liked it. But
unfortunately, when Philadelphia does something sarcastic, they use a different word towards it.
Maybe. So have the Giants found something in this Jackson Dart Cam Scattaboo combo? Who knows? They're 2-4. They go to Denver in 10 days. The Eagles are 4-2. They go to Minnesota. Brock Purdy, by the way, is doubtful. And Mac Jones has not practiced essentially all week. I mean, he handed the ball off for a second straight day at Niners practice yesterday. He has not thrown a pass. His head coach said, oh, no, if we had to play today, he couldn't play. But we think he'll be able to play Sunday. Really? He's going to be that much? He couldn't throw the ball today? But in 3 days, he'll be fine? Okay. Mac Jones has a left knee and an oblique issue. Adrian Martinez has been running practice. You remember him from Nebraska and K-State? He's been running the first team in practice. San Francisco, still very wounded. They head to Tampa Bay Sunday. They're now a 3.5-point underdog. College football, 4 games last night. Tulane scored late to win and cover against East Carolina 26-19. Kennesaw State over Louisiana Tech 35-7. Sam Houston is still winless because Jacksonville State kicked a 52-yard field goal at the gun to beat them 29-27. And Southern Miss held on against Georgia Southern 38-35. 3 games tonight, all nationally televised. 7:30 on ESPN2, South Florida against North Texas, and the undefeated Green Machine are a 1.5-point favorite. Washington, 10.5-point favorite, 9 o'clock tonight on FS1 against Rutgers. So you're going to have what? The Mariners and the Huskies both playing at the same time, about 10 minutes apart. And also at 9 o'clock tonight on CBS Sports Network, Fresno State, a favorite at Colorado State. One other college football note, Florida State linebacker Ethan Pritchard, a freshman, grew up in Sanford, Florida. 6 weeks ago, he was shot in the back of the head when he was driving his aunt home. Pritchard was transferred from Tallahassee Memorial to Brooks Rehabilitation in Jacksonville. The entire Florida State team was on hand to give him a big send-off. Can only hope for the best. Baseball, Dodgers eliminate the Phillies 2-1-11. Game-winning runs scored when Phillies pitcher Orion Kerkering couldn't field a 2-hopper that came back to him cleanly. When he finally grabbed the ball, he had all day to throw to first and get the runner out. Instead, with the bases loaded, he tried to throw home for the force out and threw the ball to the backstop. Yikes. Dodgers win in 4. They'll play either the Brewers or the Cubs in the NLCS. The Cubs have won 2 in a row, both at Wrigley. They held the Brewers to 3 hits last night. Ian Happ with the 3-run homer in the first. They hit a couple more dingers, and they beat Milwaukee 6-0. Game 5, the decider, Saturday night in Milwaukee. Tonight, the decider in Seattle. The winner plays the Jays in Toronto. Tigers and Mariners Scooble against George Kirby, 8 o'clock on Big Fox. Sad news, Mike Greenwell, an outstanding left fielder for the Red Sox for 12 years, two-time All-Star, member of the Red Sox Hall of Fame, and a lifetime .303 hitter. Died yesterday in Boston at the age of 62 after a battle with thyroid cancer. Greenwell, a Lee County, Florida standout. Grew up in North Fort Myers, played baseball and football, was a successful businessman, and also a Lee County commissioner in recent years. Mike left a wife and 2 sons. Mike Greenwell, 62. And he was the last of that tremendous, it was Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, Jim Rice, and Mike Greenwell. Back to back to back to back left fielders for the Red Sox spanning 60 years. And he was the last of the terrific ones. Hockey. Lightning. They were up 3-1. Ottawa scored 4 straight, held off 5-4. Panthers are 2-0. They beat the Flyers 2-1. Brad Marchand, the game winner midway through the third. Mark, your team's opener was kind of like my team's opener. Wings at home got beat by Montreal 5-1.
Scored the first goal, too. Dylan Larkin, their captain, scores the first goal. Everybody's happy. They're looking good. And, well,
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, my team's the Rangers. They lost at home in the opener 3-0, so they went to Buffalo and ruined their opener because Shesterkin was amazing with 37 saves and a 4-0 win. Carolina with 3 goals in the final 3 minutes of the third to beat Jersey 6-3. Boston in overtime, 4-3 over the Blackhawks. Pittsburgh is 2-0. They beat the Islanders 4-3. The Wild got 27 saves from Philip Gustafson in a 5-0 win over the Blues. Ryan O'Reilly, the game-winning goal for Nashville, 2-1 over Columbus. Dallas led 5-1 mid-third against Winnipeg, gave up 2 shorthanded goals and held on 5-4. Colorado's 2-0. They beat Utah 2-1. Vancouver over Calgary 5-1. Vegas 4-3 in overtime over San Jose, and the Kraken get off to a good start. They beat the Ducks 3-1. Sister Jean passed away last night at the age of 106. The icon on the Loyola Chicago campus. LeBron is going to miss the NBA season opener for the first time in his 23-year career. He's out an additional 3 to 4 weeks with sciatica. It's getting old. That's an old man injury right there. So he'll miss the opener and probably the first couple weeks of the season because, well, the opener's in a week and a half. And finally, Mark, the PGA Tour is in Japan for the Bay Current Classic. 3-way tie for the lead. Adam Scott, 1 shot off the lead. Xander Schauffele and Colin Morikawa are both playing. They're both 4-back, and Max Homa made the trip, and he's 6-back. And at 12 minutes before the hour, that was the starting 5. 5 big stories and Sister Jean here on Miller and Moulton.
Sister Jean, what, 106? Damn.
I know. Remarkable.
Absolutely remarkable.
Wasn't she turning 100 when they made their run? Was it their run 2019?
Believe you're right.
I think she was 99 and soon to turn 100 when we first found out about Sister Jean. You knew something was going on. I think it was 2 weeks ago that the school announced that she was retiring because she couldn't be on campus anymore. So,
I mean, you feel sad when anybody passes. You can't feel that badly when someone lives to 106 years old. But it does remind us of kind of the neat, for lack of a better word, sports stories that happen in our lifetime. Sister Jean, someone that if you're a college basketball fan and if Loyola goes on a run, if you're in your 20s now and they go on a run 30 years from now, they'll bring up Sister Jean. Always fun to see those kind of stories and sad to see her pass. And Mike Greenwell, what a great guy. He did a lot for this area that I live in from a business standpoint, from a community standpoint, did a lot for a lot of people. Sad to see the passing of Mike Greenwell, who is, you said, a Red Sox legend, but a great and a Lee County legend. Really and truly.
No question about it. Bigger in Lee County even than in Boston, and they put him in the Red Sox Hall of Fame a few years ago. Terrific player, kind of underrated. I mean, imagine you played 12 years in the majors and your lifetime batting average is .303.
No doubt.
A
lot of talk in the news about naming streets after people. You could name one after that guy in Cape Coral, everybody. I mean, that's something that should be done.
Absolutely.
Miller and Moulton. Lee Sterling coming up in about 10 minutes' time to make his picks. Miller and Moulton will make theirs. As you know, I stick to 5. David with all of these big games, and obviously the one you cannot wait to hear about.
Yes.
Not Florida and A&M.
No.
Not Missouri and Alabama. Not Oregon and Indiana. But Kent State and UMass. That's the game that David will be picking, at least one of his 47 picks this week.
Hey.
Kent State and UMass.
UMass hasn't beaten an FBS school in 2 years. Kent State is 1 month shy of 3 years since they've beaten an FBS school. They're playing each other. Something has to give. Mark, when UMass has the ball, it's the 136th ranked offense against the 136th ranked defense. There are 137 Division I schools in the FBS, okay? It is on.
Yesterday, if you listen to the show, David received directions from his wife. And by directions, arrows on pieces of paper saying, this is the oven.
This is the oven.
A baking sheet.
Right.
Were there any signs yesterday?
No.
Because I suggested to your wife to continue what she was doing with signs in the bathroom saying, this is toothpaste. And I thought she was going to play along.
No.
And when you didn't curse me this morning, I knew that she didn't, and I was a little upset.
But see, it wouldn't have worked. I know my way around, I mean, I use a toothbrush and toothpaste. I know my way around. I literally had never used the oven in our house before. Okay, so I understand where she was coming from. The baking sheet, though, really bothered me. Okay, she'd think I wouldn't know what a baking sheet is. All right. Also, we have, don't ask why, we have our microwave and our oven both in the wall. It looks like the Brady Bunch's kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay. So the microwave is on top of it. Of course, I know what's below it. It's the oven. I know that. I just choose not to use it.
This is the remote. Miller and Moulton. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This
sound.
is Miller and Moulton.
Empire, being the big Philadelphia sports fan that you are, if you are not drinking last night or later today and tonight, then you don't need to drink anymore. Now, you may just
sober. That's an interesting one.
you may just enjoy it, and goodness knows I like a nice cold beer. But whew, after last night, my goodness.
Hi, Lee.
Morning. Sending you the game of the week. Oh, got offered free tickets for the Chargers game. Think you know what my answer was?
Wow.
It's funny. I have a friend, and he has a buddy who is an avid listener to the show. I've never met the guy, and the guy's pretty well to do, has a suite at Hard Rock.
Yeah.
And the early Monday night game, because he's invited me before, and I'm like, I can't, late game, I can't get back that late.
Right.
And it was the early Monday night game, and he calls me at like 2:00, and he says, "Hey," or he texts me, he goes, I know what your answer was, but you got invited. I'm like, it's the early game. I would have gone. It's too late now. I got to pick up the kid. I can't pull this off this late. So I ran into the guy, and he said he felt bad. I go, well, if you feel bad, just remember the national championship games at Hard Rock, and I'm available. I'm letting you know now I'm available.
Well, the quarterfinal game, they have a quarterfinal game too, and if the Canes are in the top 4, the game will be there. Can you imagine that place? That'll be rocking.
Yeah.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
And we begin it every week with Lee Sterling. He of Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. You can follow him on X at Paramount Sports. Lee on a nice little run here, a really nice run for his clients. Nice run on our show, back-to-back winning weeks. Nailed 3 games of the week in a row on our show. Lee, how are you?
I'm good. Unless you got some other problems going on, you got to be good when you're winning. So it's fun. You got to take advantage of it. So looking forward to this weekend. Probably not going to release as many plays as always. There's one game I wouldn't bet with anyone's money. That's the Texas OU game. It's always the craziest result. If you think it's going to be low scoring, it's going to be high scoring. And how do you know? I mean, they're saying now that John Mateer is going to try to play. How do you know how is he going to be able to grip the ball after hand surgery?
Right. And the line has fluctuated a bunch now. It was up over a field goal. Now it's under it because of the Mateer news. So, yeah, it's one that, well, you wouldn't, but you may hear it later from me.
Well, it might be a perfect game. Might be a perfect game to live bet. That's watch him after a series or two.
No doubt. No doubt. All right. Florida State and Pitt. I'm fascinated by your take on this game because Pitt was supposed to be a little better this year. And for whatever reason, Narduzzi, since he's been at Pitt, underachieves in games that they're supposed to win and occasionally beats teams they're not supposed to. I have no idea what you think about this one, but I'm curious. What do you got, Lee?
Okay, so it's going to be the first road start for true freshman Mason Henschel. And I think he's really good. I finally made the move to him, and they destroyed BC, but the game was at home. He's probably going to throw an interception or two, but I think Florida State's kind of fraudulent. I mean, Miami dominated them. It was up 28-3. Don't look at the final score. Pretty much domination, and then set in the fourth quarter in a prevent. Just wanted to make sure they won the game. Pitt is not good in road games. 0-5 straight up and against the spread the last 5 road games. But I think Florida State's a little fraudulent. They're not a top 25 team. I don't think this line should be this high. I think Florida State's going to win the game 35-31, but I'm taking the points here. Double digits just too much for me if you're going to try to take Florida State.
I was going to say Pitt, a 10.5 point underdog this morning. All right, the Gators coming off their best performance of the year. A&M probably not getting the respect, and that's tough to say for a team ranked in the top 10. But A&M at home, it'll be a night game at College Station. That place is wild. A&M's a 7.5 point favorite on the Gators.
Told everyone about Dallas Wilson. Kid is an absolute baller. Difference maker, wide receiver, and you don't see that often as a true freshman, but he's their best receiver. Broke out in his first game. He's going to be solid. I think the offense is finally starting to come around. Defense has always been good. Notice something in film study, last two conference games. Marcel Reed is taking an extra 2 hop steps on 5 and 7-step drops. And because of that, he's distributing the ball late. And when that happens, you see more incompletions, see a couple interceptions. In fact, over the last 2 games, he's only completed balls for 387 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So he's developed a bad habit. Anyone wants to do a little film study, just pop in the YouTube, the last 2 games, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I think Texas A&M's defense is good, but they're 5-14 against the spread as a favorite here. I'm not laying more than a touchdown here with A&M. I think they survive a scare again, 24-20.
To Sunday we go. Jacksonville, a team that is getting no respect. They've beaten San Francisco on the road. They just got done coming from behind, 14 down, and take down the Chiefs. They are an underdog. They're getting 1.5 points at home against Seattle, Lee.
And Seattle's got a cluster of injuries at cornerback. So I think that the Jags might be able to take advantage of that by staying at home. Not much of a disadvantage on playing Monday night. So big win for the team. And I thought the offensive line looked good. So, as long as Trevor Lawrence doesn't throw 2 or 3 interceptions, they're going to be fine here. Like I said, I love the offensive line. Last year they had like 3 players. This year they've got 7 or 8 guys that they can interchange here. So I can't take Seattle with a cluster of injuries at cornerback. And Sam Darnold has been okay, but not good enough. I mean, he's not Baker Mayfield-esque. So his numbers look good, but what you see on the field doesn't match, what he needs to do. So I'm taking Jacksonville again. I think they get the job done here, 27-20.
So Lee taking the points with the first 3 picks of the day. Will you take the Niners, who with all their injuries, they say Mac Jones is going to start, although he hasn't practiced all week. Niners are getting 3.5 in Tampa, a battle of 4-1 teams.
Boy, the public took a bath last week. They saw all that, the cluster. I mean, it was a conglomerate of injuries. I've never seen that many this early in the season from a team. But they go against backup quarterbacks, and Matt Jones looked like Joe Montana for a day. So give him credit. But usually the second game is where these quarterbacks, these backups have some trouble. Without Bosa in his pass rush, I think it's going to hurt him here. How do you doubt Baker Mayfield here? I might buy this line down to 2.5 with all the close games that the Bucs are playing here. But I'm not going against. I don't go against hot quarterbacks here, even with Bucky Irvin out. I like the Bucs here. I think they win this game 24-17.
And finally, the Chargers in Miami. Speaking of injuries, the Chargers' offensive line is a mess. Their running back room is a mess. Hassan Haskins, I think, getting the start, their 3rd-string running back. That hasn't mattered against Miami because nobody defensively is worse against the run than the Miami Dolphins. The Chargers on the road, a 3.5-point favorite, Lee.
That was bad. I mean, up 17-0. How do you blow that game? Play calling was horrendous. Once they got the lead, the execution, the penalties, I mean, combination of everything, especially that last drive, kind of sums up what's going on here. So this might be it. If they lose this game, there's going to be they'll announce a sellout, 65,000. They show up late. The fans are taking selfies. They're eating, they're drinking. Just it's not much of a home field advantage right now. Both teams just decimated on the offensive line. Chargers down 3 starters, Dolphins down 2. I can't lay the points here. I think the Chargers are going to win this game 21-20. So I'll take the points, but not one of my strongest selections. Not going to put it out for my clients, but I think the right side is probably taking the points here. It's probably a field goal game either way.
Yeah, the hook could be in play in this one. All right, game of the week. Sunday night, Chiefs-Lions.
Doesn't get much better than this. This could be a Super Bowl preview here. Even though the Chiefs lost, the offense starting to get it going. They get Rice back, Rashee Rice, in a couple weeks. Lions, how about this spread record? Since 2021, Dan Campbell, 51-21-1. Only a little over 71%, the best in the NFL in the last 40 years over a 5-year period. So we're going to see what happens here. Big game. First 5 callers get it for free. 800-400-9741. A lot going on. Baseball playoffs. Reduced the price there. All the selections through the World Series, $97. UFC Brazil had another winning card, hit our 50-unit max wager last week on a knockout in the second round. 6 selections, $37. And football. How about you want to try our NFL on Sunday? We've gone 5-0 for our clients 3 straight weeks. So 5 selections, $55. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
800-400-9741, ParamountSports.com, and follow Lee and his site on X at Paramount Sports. He's taken the points with Pitt, with the Gators, with the Jags, and with the Dolphins. He will lay the 3.5, although he would prefer it was 2.5. Against the Niners, he's taken the Bucs. His game of the week, the Chiefs and the Lions. Lee, thanks. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
See you guys. You too. Be safe.
Lee Sterling. Back-to-back winning weeks on our show. 3 in a row right with his game of the weeks. So on a run. On a run. Lee Sterling right now.
You know, I'm not. Nothing too terrible. I've had back-to-back 2 and 3 weeks. But when the handicapper says don't bet this game, period, and it's one of the games on your list, that makes me feel incredibly confident heading into this week in college football.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I got the same game.
And Miller and Moulton have not been bad when they have been picking the same game, for what it's worth. It used to be the kiss of death. Not so much anymore. In fact, we had won 3 in a row when we were picking together. I think last week we were 1-1 on the 2 games that we agreed upon. So we'll make our picks coming up. Huge college football weekend to go through. Pat Kirwan to join us in a little less than an hour to talk the National Football League. We'll make our NFL picks in the Diamond District bonus hour, and always taking your comments, whether you're watching on twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton, youtube.com/Miller and Moulton, or texting us on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. Statewide, Pelican Roofing of Florida, 1-866-9-PELICAN, 1-866-9-PELICAN. Like any of our sponsors, if you stop by or call, make sure you tell them that Miller and Moulton sent you.
The lines are a little different this week depending on what service you're using. Like Hard Rock's numbers in a few games are noticeably different than ESPN bet numbers.
And Hard Rock is the only place you can bet in Florida.
Right.
Unless you're, I know there's ways to get around it. I get it. I like to stick to doing things legally. Just makes me feel a little more comfortable. There was a time that I didn't care. I care a little more now.
But now that we have the Cape Coral Police Department as a sponsor, okay, we're at least publicly trying to give off the impression that, we play by the rules and we don't encourage you to skirt them. Of course, if you've listened to this show for the last 19 years, you may know differently. The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
No, Empire, no games tonight in the NHL and 16 tomorrow. So you're not going to take on high school football, but you're going to take on college football. I got to admit, having never lived in an open carry state, it is going to be weird watching people with sidearms at, public places. Well, I mean, weird. I'm not making a statement one way or another. Whatever you do, you do. I remember when I traveled to Europe and I was 19. And the first weekend, we wanted to go. Well, first weekend I did Wimbledon. The next weekend I went skiing in Switzerland. And we flew to Geneva. And then we took a train to Zermatt. And I was fortunate to do this with a kid whose dad was well-to-do. And the old man took care of everything for us. And we were greeted by someone, with the signs and our names when we got off the plane. And she was about probably 35, 40-year-old, great-looking lady. And said, all right, we had a couple hours to kill before our transfer to the train. She said, you guys want to get a drink? And we're like, of course. And we stopped at a bar in the airport and ordered a drink. And here comes Swiss Army dude carrying the AK through the airport. And she just continued the conversation because it was normal to her. And the three of us were like, what in the absolute hell is going on? All of our heads just snapped, and she didn't do a thing. So, the first time I see it, my head will probably snap, and within a month's time, it'll just be normal. But it's just weird. That's all. I don't know. I've never traveled around Texas where it's open carry. I don't know what other states are, so I don't know. Oh, Puck, you're right. It's the worst TV night. I don't care if the NHL games are on TV. I'm just surprised that, across Canada, that high school football is not a big deal. No, though, Adam, I will say I worked in Atlanta for a long time, and I worked at the Omni, and the CNN Center, which was next to the Omni, is obviously where the headquarters were. So twice a month, they would come in and get their checks. And so I was used to seeing the wrestlers all the time, but there was a sports bar called Jocks and Jill's in the CNN Center. And after every Atlanta Knights game, we would all go to Jocks and Jill's. And I go up to order my drink at the bar, and there's Flair next to me in a suit drinking champagne. And I looked at him, I looked forward, and I'm 23. And I looked over at Ric Flair, I looked forward, and I just went, woo, as loud as I could, took my beer and walked away. Didn't say a word to him. He didn't say a word to me. Well, one, I don't go to Naples, umpire. Somehow I think in Bonita and Fort Myers, I'd see it more than I would in Naples. That's just me. Did the Broncos break the Eagles? I don't know, but, you know, there's some people that thought there were a lot of tells with the Eagles offense.
Well, the young Giants cornerback said he knew the play they were going to run.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Pat Kirwan to join us in 40 minutes' time on a Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Lee Sterling just made his picks. Now it is time for us to make ours. Mark, 5 weeks in a row, make it 6 weeks in a row. He's gone either 3-2 or 2-3 all 6 weeks.
14 and 16 on the year.
Back-to-back 2 and 3 weeks, so he's due for a winning week this week. I finally had a winning week, and I'm still 12 games below 500. That's how much I have sucked, but I did go 5-3 last week. I've got 2 games tonight, 4 on Saturday, and 2 on Sunday.
An 8-pack.
Yep. Hey, the 8-pack worked last week. Let's double down. Tonight, Fresno State's a good team. Colorado State's not.
No, they're not.
It's under 7. I'm going to lay the points with Fresno State at Colorado State. And I get it. North Texas is 5-0. I get it. They have not played the level of competition that South Florida has. And yet South Florida is a 1.5-point underdog. Yeah, the Bulls win tonight on the road. Conference game, so it's big. But give me South Florida, and I'm even getting 1.5. Lee Sterling said, if you do one thing this weekend, stay away from the Red River Shootout. Yeah, I bet the Red River Shootout most every year. I just really like the game. I'm taking Oklahoma. I think right now they're the better team. I know their quarterback's hurt. He may play, and if so, we don't know how effective. I don't know what to tell you. Texas's offensive line's not good. I think Oklahoma's defensive line's going to overwhelm them, quite frankly. I think it's going to be low scoring unless turnovers get involved. Give me Oklahoma and the points, which the money's coming in on the Sooners. This was in the 3.5 range. In some places, it's down to 1.5.
Exactly.
I can get Alabama and lay less than a field goal. Seriously? Missouri is not a top 5 team in the country. And I think right now, that's the type of team you have to be if you're going to beat Alabama. Missouri may be a top 15 team for all we know, but I think Bama's going to go to Columbia, Missouri and win. It's an 11 a.m. local kick. Missouri is not a raucous atmosphere. Never mind at 11 a.m. local. Give me Bama and lay the 2.5 against the Tigers. Mark, UCF's on the road, number 1. Number 2, it's a Big 12 game on the road. Number 3, their quarterback's hurt again. Cincinnati should be ranked. They're honked off that they're not. Give me the Bearcats. I'm laying 10.5. I wish it was 9.5, but I'm laying the 10.5 against UCF. And the college football matchup of the year. Kent State, who hasn't won an FBS game in 35 months, against UMass, who hasn't won an FBS game in 24 months. Kent State is the 134th ranked offense and the 136th ranked defense. There are 137 teams. UMass's offense is ranked 136 and their defense is ranked 124. Kent State has played a much higher level of competition than UMass. Kent State has tasted winning this year. UMass hasn't. I'm taking Kent State at home and laying the 2.5. Come on, you got to bet the worst game on the board, don't you? Sunday, I'm taking the Broncos in London. It's less than 7 against the Jets. And I'm taking the Seahawks against the Jags. I don't think the Jags are able to beat the Niners, the Chiefs, and the Seahawks back to back to back. And I actually think Seattle will be really desperate after losing last week to fall to 3-2. So give me Seattle. I'll lay the 1.5 in Jacksonville. Mark?
I'm writing them as we go. And sometimes you don't give the point spreads. I'm looking back and forth. I think I've got everything correct there. 700 picks again. And we agree on 3. I only made 5 picks. 3 of them I agree wholeheartedly with David Moulton. Alabama, less than a field goal against Missouri. I'm sorry. Missouri's quarterback, the kid that transferred from Penn State's done a really nice job. But I don't think Missouri's going to be able to cover Alabama's wide receivers. Hell, I don't know how many teams in the country can cover Alabama's wide receivers. Georgia couldn't. What makes you think Missouri will be able to? Give me Alabama and lay the 2.5. Oklahoma, for a lot of the reasons David said, I don't know if Oklahoma's defense is as good as the Gators, but it's in the area code, particularly up front. Oklahoma's defensive line against the Texas banged-up offensive line, give me Oklahoma. I think this game's going to be, 2017, 24-20, somewhere in there. I don't see a lot of points, but I see Oklahoma getting enough done. I'll take Oklahoma, and I get a 1.5. And just 2 games that we agree on. Those are the only 2. Look, I would have loved to have grabbed this game at 6.5, but I liked it at 10.5. It's down to 7.5. Indiana going out west to take on the Ducks. Look, the story at Indiana is great. And if they pull it off, hats off to Cignetti and the Hoosiers. I don't think they will. I think at the line of scrimmage, Oregon's really good. Lanning has done a spectacular job of recruiting and getting transfers on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They're the more talented team. They're at home, and they'll be up for this game. Not just the players, but their fans. Indiana did a nice job going to Kinnick and winning a close one. Oregon ain't Iowa, okay? Oregon wins and covers the 7.5. Texas Tech is another team that just doesn't get the respect they deserve from what they have accomplished thus far this season. And Kansas, they were in a dogfight with UCF. Come on. Texas Tech's good. They're right now the best team in the Big 12 until proven otherwise. It's a big number, but give me Texas Tech and I'll lay the 14.5. And finally, this one is a little sentimental. David and I lost a friend this week. She was a monster Michigan fan. I'm taking the Wolverines. They're going out west. They're going to beat USC. This will be a great game. I'm going to take Michigan for Melissa and 2.5. Go blue. Yep, I said it.
I like that one.
So that is my 5, all college. I couldn't find a Sunday game that I really felt passionate about, David. I didn't see anything. I see where you're at with Seattle, but I think the Jacksonville disrespect card could be there. And Can Trevor throw against them? That's, Lee pointed that out as well. The secondary's banged up for Seattle, but what does that mean? Can Trevor get the job done? So I just couldn't find a game on Sunday that I felt good enough about. I had 2 or 3 more on Saturday I thought about playing.
It's okay. You can go more than 5.
Yeah, I know. Not yet. There's been no reason to.
All right.
There has been no reason to so far this year.
I almost went Cowboys in Carolina, but Carolina's 2-0 at home and 0-3 on the road. But boy, Dallas is scoring points on everybody, and it's only 3.5. All right. So I almost pulled the trigger on the Cowboys, but I'm like, all right, Carolina at home, believe it or not, it's been dangerous. So, and second straight week at home, and they're happy about that. So, all right.
But 5 college games for me. David taking 2 tonight, 4 tomorrow, 2 on Sunday. Hell, he may double down and back the truck up on Monday.
Sure. Might be chasing. What the heck? Always time for an add-on. No?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're in the nation's capital. I can't wait to talk about the game on Monday because it made one team's season and derailed another's a year ago.
Sure did. Sure did. The Hail Mary and the deflection. Miller and Moulton. We've made our picks. Pat Kirwan to break down the NFL in half an hour.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Buckhead in the 90s was a great place. A great place. I don't remember. If George had open carry, then I will say that I never saw it. I never, and I don't know. For those of you that pay attention, can you have it with all this new law? Can you carry in a bar, or is that illegal to have a gun in a place that serves alcohol? I literally don't know what the rules are. Nor do I care because I don't have guns, so it doesn't matter to me. The irony is my wife has her concealed carry permit. She and a bunch of friends went and did it several years ago. We don't own a gun, but she has her concealed carry. Probably shoots better than her husband. No, I get that, but I didn't know if there are special rules for places that sell alcohol. That's my question. Oh, there's no doubt, Jim. Hell, I'd think in Alva, 90% of the people there have a concealed carry anyhow. Just kidding. 40%. Although now, Jim, your town's changed. All the rich people are moving out there, buying up the land. Home prices have gone through the roof in Alva. You know it better than I do, I'm sure.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes till Pat Kirwan joins us at the top of the hour on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Still trying to wrap my brain around how that Phillies-Dodgers game and series ended. My goodness. What an old-timer.
You know, David, and I'll get back to that in a second, but, you know, I love doing the Football Friday. It makes me smile. I hope it does to other people, and I know it does because, you know, I'm out and about. I got the kid. We're at soccer. We're
Right.
we're all over the place. And I had a dad walk up to me who recognized me from the show and said he listened, and which is always great. Love talking to folks that are fans of the show. And he kind of nudged his daughter, who was, you know, 4, 5, 6 years old, and says, "That's Mr. Miller that we listen to on the radio. What's he do?" And she goes, "Football Friday."
There you go.
Fantastic. But I'm with there aren't many things anymore, and we probably have done it more this sports season than we have in the past. But I don't text David that often, particularly after 9 p.m. And that one just got a wow. I just sat there and didn't know what to do. And I yelled, wow. My wife was not in bed yet, thank goodness. I yelled it loud enough. She's like, what? And she came out. I'm like, I don't know what the Phillies just did there.
Right. I just feel badly for him. 24-year-old Orion Kirkering, who grew up in Venice and went to South Florida and had an up and down year. It didn't necessarily finish the year well. In fact, it was interesting. They brought him in with runners on base. He had allowed 8 of his last 13 inherited runners to score. He was a big part of their bullpen throughout the year, however. For what it's worth, I actually would have been, I would have left the lefty in. It's the bottom part of the order. They hadn't done anything all night. I would have left them in, but it didn't matter. Kirkering made the pitch and should have gotten him out, and we should have gone to the 12th, but just a play that's going to be remembered because also we don't know what the Phillies are going to look like next year. This run, and they made it to a World Series, and they made it to an Game 7 of an LCS, and they made it to a couple of division series. But this core, and you could tell Schwarber was emotional in the clubhouse after the game. He knows. It's likely the catcher who was pointing throw the ball to first is likely not going to be a Philly next year in JT Realmuto. He signed a 5-year deal, and it's up. And, it'll be interesting to see where the Phillies go from here. They have one of the worst outfields in the majors. It's amazing. The Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies combined, those teams have spent about $900 million, and yet they just still have glaring holes.
And, both teams, for the game to be a 2-1 game through 11 was wild in and of itself. Because while the Phillies left 14 runners on base and had their chances, the Dodgers left 21 runners on base.
Right.
21.
And they only scored the second run on an error and a brain spasm.
And the first run was walked in.
Right. So
that's one that, and I get it. I look, I'm not trying to say I could do better, but watching a game, seeing a run walked in drives me nuts.
I'm with you.
Just drives me nuts.
I am with you. But so the Blue Jays and the Dodgers are through. Tonight, Game 5 in Seattle, Tigers and Mariners. This was what I was hoping for. Now I'm rooting for Seattle because they've never been to the World Series. And usually Mark and I don't root against each other's team. And I know how much he loves the Tigers. I just actually think the Mariners can go to the World Series and potentially win it. I think that tonight is about as far as the Tigers can go. Like they can win tonight with Skubal. I don't see them beating the Jays.
I don't either. I don't, but I want to give that shot because
totally.
If they could get I'm not looking ahead. If they get through tonight, though, they need the series to go the distance because Skubal's pitching Game 3 and Game 7.
Well,
now.
Exactly. You go to Toronto, you find a way to get a split. You send your ace out there in Game 3, and then you say to the team, "Listen, win one of the next 3. He can pitch again." Okay, come on now, boys, find a way. I know. I hear you. Hell, the 83-win Cardinals won a World Series 19 years ago. Strange things happen once you get to the postseason. But Skubal and the Tigers against Seattle tonight. And then, tomorrow night, Milwaukee, a deciding Game 5. Boy, the Dodgers get to line their pitching up.
For the record, you probably should bet Seattle tonight. Skubal's faced Seattle 3 times this year. The Mariners have won all 3 times.
Oh, I don't see that actually makes me more nervous. I'm like, can you really face Scooble 4 times and beat him and the Tigers all 4 times?
Well, they've been able to hit him. His earned run average is 2.21. Against the Mariners, it's 4.58. They've been able to hit him. So nobody else does, David.
No, it's true. Although they only hit 2 solo homers in game 2 in 7+ innings.
And
So-
if he doesn't pitch until his arm falls off tonight, I will be beside myself.
Well, especially since because if Miller and Moulton were general managers of the Tigers, we would seriously consider trading him this offseason before he enters the final year of his contract, because it's not like the Tigers are going to re-sign him. I mean, they haven't spent money in over 10 years. So there's
And
no
remember, Mr. Ilitch passed a long time
Right.
ago. This is the new generation of Ilitches that are running the 2 Detroit teams, the Red Wings and the Tigers. And let's look at how they've done since this group has taken over.
Oh boy.
Just saying.
Oh boy.
By the way, the Philly haters, the Philadelphia haters are coming out on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. Couldn't think of a better ending for Harper. F him.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Really? Really? Bryce Harper hate? Oh man. I think Bryce Harper's
I love him.
one of-
I
one of
love
the-
him.
Yeah, one of the 10 best things the sport's got going for them. Love them.
I like
That's
I
interesting.
like this Phillies team. I
Yep.
do. I'll be bummed out if Schwarber's not a Philly. I think they end up spending the money and keeping him, but there are other decisions that have to be made. I think they're a fun team. I have for a few years. I've enjoyed watching them play. But I feel badly for the pitcher, but at the same time, David, the catcher's in charge of that play. You know, I would guarantee not only is he pointing at first, he's yelling first base, first base. I
You
mean,
would like to think so, because obviously the pitcher's not going to see him pointing. But it's unfortunate how it ended, unless you're a Dodgers fan. You at least like to see it end cleanly, if you will.
and I would love to have seen the atmosphere back in Philly
Oh,
for a game 5. I mean, look at, I will tell you this, and no one's really talking about the Brewers because we don't pay a lot of attention to them. They don't have a lot of stars on their team. There's not a history of watching Milwaukee Brewer baseball, although over the last 6-7 years, they've been terrific in that division. The Cubs' biggest rival in that division's been the Brewers, not the Cardinals, the last few years. I know the history with the two. I'm not trying to say they replace that great rivalry in the sport, but man, Wrigley has been awesome in this postseason.
yes.
The wild card games were fantastic. The 2 home games in the divisional series were electric. And now it shifts to Milwaukee.
And that's tomorrow night, 8:00 TBS. That's if football doesn't get in the way. Can I talk about the other Philly team for a second? And Pat Kirwan's joining us in about a dozen minutes, and I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit. But so how concerned are you now about the Eagles? Scale of 1 to 10. It's one thing to lose to Denver, playoff team from a year ago, expected to be even better. Okay, and their defense took it to your offensive line. Yeah, the Giants ran the ball down your throat, and Jalen Hurts can't complete passes that are beyond 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. How concerned are you about the Eagles?
On a scale of 1 to 10, a 6.5, 7,
Well,
because
pretty concerned.
because of what you just talked about. You know, first off, as Pat pointed out against Denver, they came out trying to throw the ball. For whatever reason, they came out trying to throw it. They were ineffective doing so. And then last night, David, they really did it again. They had Saquon run the ball just 12 times. And I know score dictates, but the score wasn't out of hand until the pick 6. They threw the ball 33 times. This is not who Philadelphia is. It's not what this team's about. And where my concern lies mostly, are they worried about, I know the guard was out, Dickerson was out last night. I know they've had some changes, but are they that concerned about their offensive line that they don't think that they can run the football? Why have they tried to change philosophically of who they are? That's what my concern is.
Well, does it go back to the quarterback trying to appease his wide receivers, especially one of them? Although the quarterback's not calling the plays, the offensive coordinator is. This, I do think, is fair to talk about. This is now the fourth offensive coordinator in 5 years for Philadelphia. The one guy was Steichen. He took him to a Super Bowl. He got the Colts job. Then the other guy comes in for a year. They get rid of him. That's the year that they started 9-1 and then fell off a cliff.
Right, because they wanted Sirianni's head that year, and the coordinators were the sacrificial lambs.
So then they bring in Kellen Moore, and they go to and win a Super Bowl. He gets the Saints job, and now here's another offensive coordinator. I mean, for whatever reason, Steichen and Moore were able to find the balance, find the passing plays. I mean, I will say this goes all the way back to when he was in college. Lane Kiffin didn't think Jalen Hurts could throw the ball in between the numbers. If you went back when Lane Kiffin called plays for Jalen Hurts, they were all passes at or behind the line of scrimmage or passes from the numbers to the sideline. He did not let Jalen Hurts throw the ball in the middle of the field. Also, the Eagles, with that offensive line and in theory that running game, never put Jalen Hurts behind center. There's no play action really in the Eagles offense right now. Outside of the tush-push mark, they've run one play offensively all year with him under center that wasn't a tush-push. One in 6 games.
Which really eliminates any play action, as you said. The other side of this, and I asked you this earlier this week, and you did say if it happens, it's because of the Eagles, not the Commanders. But now all of a sudden, Washington playing at home against Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
In that game, they're tied in the division.
Well, and I think they may be in first because of a better division record, possibly.
Fine, and they haven't played
Right.
one another yet, so I'm not
Right.
worried about that.
But, yeah, no doubt. I mean, you look at where the Commanders were 2 weeks ago and the Eagles were 10 days ago, and now, I mean, hey, Patriots went into Buffalo, beat the Bills. New England's schedule, we went through it earlier this week. It's pretty damn doable coming up. And you wonder, hold on a second, is the AFC East now in play? And after last night, the NFC East is in play.
And as it's pointed out in our Twitch chat room very accurately, you go back to the second half of the Bucs game when the Bucs shut down the Eagles.
Didn't complete a pass.
So this is now, 2.5 games
Yep.
of a tremendous lack of productivity from the Philadelphia Eagles offense.
They'll have plenty of time to do some self-scouting, try to figure some things out. I got to find out what's going on with Saquon. All right. Seriously. Why is he not getting the ball more? I look at the offense coordinator. It's like, unless he's not healthy and they're protecting him, but otherwise, come on, feed the beast. Pat Kirwan, next.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, Cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
Todd and I are local. We're involved in our community. We live here, we work here, we're in our showroom every day. We love working with our guests. We love giving back to our community.
We are so excited about our new store. Same location, same team, new environment. Every day is like a grand reopening. Absolutely stunning when you walk through our doors now. Come experience the newness of the diamond industry. See what we've done.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
I am always well, especially if I drop off the guy at school and get here in time. It's a function of how many green lights I get versus red lights. I got him trained to get his ass out the door early on Fridays. I'm going on at 8:30 with your boy up in Detroit.
I know. He texted us yesterday. He's going solo today.
Yeah. And he wasn't clear when he said, "Hey, I'm going solo. Is there a chance you'd come on?" I go, "Of course." So at 8:30 yesterday, I go, "Where the hell are you? I'm waiting." And he goes, "Oh, I don't think I was clear. It's tomorrow." I said, "That's fine. As long as it's 8:30, I get off with the fellas."
Yeah, he's his normal main host got the day off, so good for him.
Good.
Yeah. He's got to figure out what he wants to do because producing isn't the answer. Not doing what he's doing.
No, that's not going anywhere for him.
But he's a homebody. He missed home. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, how old
and I don't blame him. He wasn't making enough. I think he would have been fine here if we could have actually paid him enough money to have. It's hard with what he was making to live down here.
No, that's true. How
And he
old
didn't
was
get
he
it
when he first came down to help?
24, 23.
Oh, yeah. So he's already in the phase. He ought to know what he's doing by now. Because what is he, 27 now?
20. No, he's just 20. It's only been a year. He's 20.
Oh.
He's 25, about to, because he's a year younger than my son. My son's 26.
Good morning there, Mr. Moulton.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Oh, look at the smile of a Giant fan right there.
Oh, actually, listen. The only thing this season is about is the development of the quarterback. Okay.
Yeah.
And so far, he looks like he's worth keeping to develop.
And he hasn't been killed yet.
He's tough. Tell you, he made a couple of clutch catches and throws, and his sidekick Scataboo is something else. I don't know how long he's going to last because he's an animal.
I'll tell you, the one throw dart, that throw to the end zone that got dropped, that was a perfect ball. I mean, it was tough, but that ball's got to get caught right there to me.
Yeah. I felt badly for the receiver who's been waiting 3 years to make a play, and the guy grabs his arm, and he literally has to try to catch that with one arm. But yeah, no, that was a throw.
That was
his receiver group is below average.
Oh, very much so.
And it sucks too, because Neighbors, when he's there, that's as good as it gets in the game right now.
Yep.
And I just hope he comes back healthy from that. That's my worry, because that kid's a stud.
Well, when you know you have the quarterback, and by the end of the season they'll know that for sure, then you can go build around him. The greatest way to build a team, we talk about it on the show a lot, is find a rookie quarterback that you think is the man, and then you got a 4-year window.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Halfway home on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Pat Kirwan joins us at this day and time. Pat of NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, which is weekdays 3 to 7, Saturdays 2 to 5. Sunday, he's helping to make the NFL Today happen for CBS. Pat joins us courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, all points in between. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. Good morning.
Good morning, fellas. Everybody, I knew David would be up early today to celebrate the Giant victory. Well done by those guys. Didn't see it coming, but it was fun to watch. And I think the young quarterback is on his way to being something special.
Well, we could talk about the young quarterback and Scataboo and be excited about all of that, but I have to go the other way because none of us saw this coming, Pat. And now it's not just yesterday. It was last week against Denver. It was the second half against Tampa Bay. This is 10 quarters of an offense that's not producing. And when we look at Denver, we think that's an elite defense. Might be the best defense in the league. So you could say, okay. But Pat, team score on the Giants. The Bucs defense hasn't been world beaters this year. And in the second half, they shut them down. Are the Eagles broken right now? And if so, how do you fix them?
Well, I think for me, I'll take it. When did this start of the demise? Doesn't it start with Browns complaining? And now he has a bizarre comment last night after the game that he doesn't remember having a meeting with the quarterback and the running back. I think the tip of the iceberg is that receiver and I'll call it selfishness that you want the ball. Yeah, we'd like to win, but winning is not enough anymore. I want the ball. And he looked very discontent on the sideline during the game, like he was shutting it down about caring. And I've seen receivers do this to teams before.
Listen, I said it yesterday, and Mark's like, I don't think it'll happen. And I go, I know the odds are against it, but if I'm the Patriots, because he loves Vrabel and Vrabel loves him, and they've got Drake May, I'm telling you, if I'm the Patriots, I call the Eagles and go, we'll take your headache off your hands. And I'd even give up a first-round pick to do it, because now the Patriots, with him and on the other side, I think all of a sudden they'd be dangerous. But Pat, let's just say he's staying. how are they going to rectify this? This is the first year OC, and this ain't going well.
Well, it's out of the OC's hands. This is the owner, the GM, and the coach. And he can go right up the ladder. Start with the head coach meeting and move on to the GM and move on to the owner. But if you're going to keep him, we need a change. And I am not confident that he's going to change. We had a lot of conflict last spring about him. And I downgraded him because of the production. It wasn't his fault, but I said, you want me to treat him like he has 150 receptions? Well, it's the system. Well, that's really what his complaint is. That denying they had a meeting, also the meeting, I don't know how you have a meeting with players only and no linemen there, and you had 6 sacks last week. And I think here's the question I have for myself. I'll ask you guys. I think we're finding out what we already knew. Jalen Hurts is a good leader and a great athlete and a tough runner. But I'm not so sure that guy has an NFL championship arm. What you have to do is get him to the position that he has to throw, and then they're vulnerable. But moving him to New England, I like it. We could debate the compensation, but it'd be a real lot.
Pat, my last question about the Eagles, because there are a lot of games we want to get to. You said, is that offensive line a championship line anymore?
Doesn't look it. I saw Saquon. I'm not taking Saquon off the hook, but he looked to me like he was running right into darkness. How many times on that left side belly they run, and there was nothing there. And he tried to bounce outside, and the outside guy was smart enough to contain it, and they just tackled him. So this has been going on all season. He's way behind in his production from last year in the first 5 weeks. Now, 6 weeks.
It is crazy. The Ravens are 1-4. The Chiefs are 2-3 and facing the Lions. The Eagles now, suddenly, you feel like they're reeling. Pat, what the hell's happened to the National Football League in the last 2 weeks?
Well, the designers of the salary cap would tell you this was what we were looking for. This is what we wanted in balance. I don't buy any of that stuff. I think it's very hard to stay on top. And, you tell me if you think this statement's inaccurate. I think football, for a lot of players, is turned into an individual sport. You can talk team all you want. Their money is based on their production. And so you get a lot of selfish guys. We talked about Chris Jones the other day, right after the game. That was brought to our attention. David, thank you. I went over that video with Coach Cowher a number of times. And then you have these receivers. We've always had diva receivers, but they don't really help. Remember when Odell Beckham was being that giant? They eventually figured out we got to leave. Take it easy, Odell. And maybe you're right about moving this guy.
Well, you know what? It starts with ownership, and you've talked about that for a long time, and GM and coach. Well, I've always thought that the Jags owner was a good owner. He let the football people do their thing, and he didn't meddle. Maybe he didn't hire the right ones, so he changed again. New guy running the program, new GM, new coach. And this coach, they're buying in. They tackle, they block. They have a receiver that isn't doing well, but played well last week. The Jags and the Seahawks. I know you talk to the Seahawks coach every week, and here are the Jags. You look at their wins. They went out to San Francisco and won. They just got done beating the Chiefs, and here they are. Vegas has them an underdog against Seattle. Jacksonville can play the disrespect card here. This is a game I'm fascinated by, Pat.
So am I. So now the moment I've talked to Jeff Loggeman about this. We talked about that the other day, but Logs was like, now we're going to find out if we can handle success. You have, just think about the euphoria in the stadium and settling them down and getting ready for the next one, because it comes up fast. And the old 24-hour rule of celebrate or complain if you lost, it's hard to hold that rule when you have a team that's been starving for a win. So there's the first challenge for Liam. Can you get him back down to earth and get ready for this game? And I don't know that we should say it this way, but I think there's no more sneaking up. Jacksonville, now they're a public enemy number one for a lot of teams. They see it. and they're not going to take them lightly. And that's how Jacksonville used to win once in a while. You took them lightly, and then they stumble and fall and make mistakes, and you beat them. Now it looks to me like Liam's got them going, and what Jeff really wanted to talk about was the defensive coordinator, the young kid that went to Paramus Catholic. That kid has got this defense kind of moving. Look at the 14 takeaways. You start giving even Trevor that many balls back on the field, and you're going to end up winning a number of games. So they got a lot going on, but Seattle coming to town. Pete's a little disgruntled, I think, with Chip Kelly in that offense. They don't even have a fullback on the field. They don't have one on the roster. You study Pete Carroll's football teams, there was always a fullback. So he's kind of let this ride out the way it is, but I know him instinctively. He wants to run the ball all the time, and no fullback, which means almost no power play. And Chip kind of fought back against it, that we were balanced and all that nonsense. So they got to work out a bunch of stuff. I would not be surprised if Liam Cohen can get this team right again for this game.
2 4-1 teams, the Niners and the Bucks. Both have injury issues. San Fran actually has more. First off, Pat, so Purdy, they've pretty much ruled out, and Mac Jones has been unable to even throw soft tosses in practice so far this week. And remember, they played 2 Thursdays ago. So he's had 7 days and he still can't practice, but they say he's the one who's going to play Sunday in Tampa. Will the injuries finally catch up to the Niners this week?
I believe they will. Cross-country trip for starters. Then there's Baker and his 4 game-winning drives. You know, the guy only had 2 game-winning drives last year. And then we all thought Baker played extremely well, but he's on a different pace right now for what he's doing. And he doesn't have days off. He's not a guy that's going to be sleepy and all of a sudden we don't recognize the way he's playing. He's too aggressive. And I do think that Todd Bowles, just for the reasons you said, David, is going to bring the heat on Mac Jones. And he instinctively likes to blitz. He ended that game with a tremendous blitz call the other day, and that was the demise of Sam. And Sam was beating him up pretty good.
Yep.
But he'll start the game at home this way. He'll come after these guys. So when Christian McCaffrey has significantly more yards receiving than he does rushing, their running attack is not – we should no longer say that, you know, Shanahan's the run guy and has all these run schemes. He's throwing the ball like crazy. They are changing, and maybe because they have to.
The other side of this to me, though, is San Francisco, as banged up as they are, defensively as a unit, they've played really well. When you look at that side of the ball, and with Bucky Irvin, if he plays, I don't know how effective he'll be. How do you attack San Francisco? Because defensively, they've been pretty damn good this year, Pat.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think you have to be who you are. By now, we know who we are, and I think it's Baker's ad-libbing, scrambling and running for a first down. I think he's got 10 or 12 first downs running. And isn't it interesting? I wanted to make that point. The guy who trained him to be that kind of guy is Liam. And look what Liam's doing with Trevor. It's the same. He's telling him, take the first down with your feet. And I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of that stuff from Baker. I'm not saying this is easy. It might be a little lower scoring than people think. I see numbers like 46, 47 points. Would I be inclined to take the under? I might. And I don't hate the under, but that'd be on my mind to do that. San Francisco's defense with 98 points given up. Yeah, numbers-wise, they look better than Tampa, but I wouldn't take San Francisco's defense over Tampa's defense.
Interesting.
I like the guy who runs that defense. The head coach is very aggressive and knows when to pull a trigger on stuff.
The Bucks have won their 4 games by a total of 9 points. The Niners have won their 4 games by a total of 13 points. Both of them 4-1, and with the Eagles now 2 losses, and all of a sudden, who's going to be the 1 seed and home field in the NFC playoffs? It's looking like maybe, just maybe, things could be playing out differently. More with Pat Kirwan on the other side here on Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 13325. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
David, what's your weekend schedule?
Third straight week.
Mark, you are not allowed to laugh with that.
I am too. I am too. He gets paid handsomely for this. I can laugh all I want.
Well, I don't get
Okay,
paid
why did I say
Saturday.
that, Mark? Because I might be laughing myself in a second.
I get paid handsomely for Monday. I don't get paid handsomely for Saturday at CBS. So 2 weeks ago it was Seattle. Last week it was Los Angeles, and this week it's Eugene, Oregon.
Oh God!
And a week before all that started, it was Eugene, Oregon. This is my fourth trip to the Pacific time zone for the Big Ten so far this year. I've got 9 scheduled right now between Saturdays and Sundays in the Pacific time zone. 9.
And then where do you do Monday?
DC.
Hey, Mark, that was really uncalled.
Oh, no, Pat, that's the beauty of this year's schedule. The closest when I go out west, Saturday to Monday game I just had a couple of weeks ago when I went from Seattle to Denver. And even that flight was over 2 hours. So, I've had Seattle. Portland to Chicago, Seattle to Denver. This will be, I had LA to Jacksonville. This will be Eugene to DC. Oh, no.
Can you fly direct? Are you flying a red eye out of Eugene or out of Portland rather?
No, I'm actually 3-4 weeks ago, whenever it was, I flew out of Portland to go to Chicago direct. This time I'm staying in Eugene because there was no direct Portland to DC. So I'll just stay in Eugene, go through Denver, and fly into DC.
Gotcha.
So, Pat, last year doing college football, the SEC slogan is "It just means more." Our running joke for CBS this year is that it just means more miles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there it is. You'll be able to send your wife and daughter.
Oh my goodness!
I just think when the time comes that my wife and I want to take a vacation, I'm going to call David and say, "All right, how much do I have to pay you to buy miles?"
And I'll be like, "I got a couple $100,000 just sitting around. You want them?"
Yeah. God.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's
In fact, I was over at my daughter's house yesterday, and she's got her husband's family has Iowa connections, and they're talking about going there next summer. And I said to her, I go, "Well, I got 250,000 Delta miles now, and the season's just started.
Yes.
I go, so if
Well, my kids, I used to give them when I was traveling more than this, although I'm back on this trail, but all they ever wanted when they were just getting out of college was airplane tickets to anywhere.
right.
So I would just get them, whatever they wanted, but I go, these are easy for me. It wasn't even making a dent in my travel. But yeah, they'll be very happy if you're throwing them airline tickets. Now, here's the next thing. What is going on with the air traffic controllers? We're back to cancel flights, delayed flights. It's all over the country.
Well, it's called a government shutdown, and those are
Yeah.
federal workers.
No, I'm talking about you. I know what's causing it. What happens?
Oh, well, so I've been lucky so far. I have not even gone through an airport in which you're like, oh, wow, look at that line. The other thing, Pat, and this is just a hunch, even if less workers show up, they take care of TSA and Clear because those people pay.
Yep.
Okay. Now, the regular, ticket, you don't have security clearance of some kind. A 2-hour delay could be 3 hours. But I've yet to find
my kid when he flies.
Yeah, I've yet to find a big TSA or Clear line in the couple of weeks. I'll let you know this week.
Yeah. When are we going to get Clear at RSW?
They don't have it there. I don't ever fly. You guys, but I haven't been on a plane. Jesus, I don't even know when the last time I flew, and it's great.
I'm jealous of you.
It's funny. I mean, there was all the time in our lives, and I don't know about, I remember when I was first in the business and flying with the hockey team, I thought it was really cool. I love the fact I don't have to go to an airport anymore.
You aren't kidding.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
Our remaining moments with Pat Kirwan on this Football Friday. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. All right. Let's just talk Ravens. 1-4, hosting the Rams. Not the easiest team to have to play when you're struggling. Did they make a mistake in making Cooper Rush their backup quarterback? Not that Cooper Rush is a bad quarterback. I think we all like him. He went 4-1 filling in for Dak one year. Okay, but he doesn't fit their style of play. I mean, should they maybe make the switch back to Huntley until Lamar can play? Because he's not as good a quarterback, but he fits their system better, doesn't he?
You don't remember how he played when he was on the field?
Well,
He's
come
horrible.
on, Patty. He made the Pro Bowl with 2 touchdown passes for the season. I know. I just, Pat, you got to admit. Now, I don't know if you can find
there is no
Lamar.
one. They've been trying since Lamar got there, right? They have never, and they finally decided that's the wrong way to go. I talked to John about this. That mimicking Lamar is not going to happen because Lamar is unique. And all these kids they put in there, McSorley, all of them, they can't do it. So that what they needed was a guy. The other part of those guys is they were so young that they weren't being developed. They were waiting on the sideline for him to get hurt. Cooper Rush can play. Their problem is injuries.
Okay, but there are opposing defenses that are now saying, hey, man, without Lamar, we can defend Derrick Henry. And the numbers so far are backing that up.
That is true. But that has nothing to do with putting Huntley on the field. He shouldn't even be on a team. Their defense gave up 177 points.
No doubt. That side of the ball, we never imagined that coming. I know there are injuries, but the fact of the matter is their defense is a mess. The Chargers are kind of
question. He just asked to see what I'd say.
The Chargers are kind of a mess too, Pat. I mean, their offensive line's banged up. They're down 2 running backs. They've got a 3rd-string running back. Now, he may rush for 200 because the Dolphins can't stop anyone. If the Dolphins can't stop the Chargers running the football, I don't know if they can stop anybody all year. But are the Chargers vulnerable right now against a bad Miami team?
The Chargers are going to be vulnerable for the rest of the year because of their tackles. and the numbers are starting to back me up on this. Remember Herbert? Now you guys remember everything. 3 interceptions all of last year in 17 games. Now look at him. Now he's got 4 interceptions and 178 throws, not 500 throws. So that part of it is starting to fall apart. And here's the worst part. In the last 3 games, 11 sacks and 35 hits on the quarterback. Now, Mark, how long is he going to last if he repeats that for the next 3 games? That'd be 22 sacks and 70 hits on the quarterback. And there's no way for them to protect the guy if they have to play the way they play, because they can't run the ball until Hampton gets back. Who's going to run the ball for them?
Yeah, good. Nobody.
Couple of teams that had great wins last week. Any concern about Denver going to London to play the Jets or the Patriots, the middle game of a 3-game road trip going to New Orleans?
Worrying about neither one of them. I think by the Saints winning last week created whatever little sense of urgency so the players aren't sitting in New England and Foxborough watching tape of a team that can't win with a quarterback that never won. Now they have a game they can look at and say that this could happen to us. So that always helps when you're getting ready to play a terrible team, and New England will be ready to go with that one. And I do not worry at all about Denver playing against the Jets. The Jets are in a lot of trouble as it relates to 2025, maybe 2026 as well. They don't have a takeaway. They can't even help a terrible quarterback with an extra series.
That is truly amazing. Aaron Glenn brought in to help the defense. I mean, it's getting late early with Aaron Glenn. I hate to see it. I thought he was going to do a good job there, and he still may. We'll find out. All right. Detroit played a couple of bad teams, beat the crap out of them. Kansas City's coming off of a loss. Detroit lost a corner, their 3rd-string corner in preseason. They're now without their 2 starting corners. A 5th-string cornerback is going to be playing for Detroit against Kansas City. They have the most complete offense in the league to me. They can beat you multiple different ways offensively, but are we already running into the same Lion defense that isn't going to be able to stop anyone, Pat?
Well, I think when you're playing against Mahomes, you sure would like to have a fortified secondary, which you have pointed out they don't have. Take another few dimensions into this thing. They're not going to run the ball. Go back to the game 2 years ago. Detroit wins it 21-20. Detroit was fully balanced, 34 run, 35 pass. Kansas City's never balanced, 23 run, 39 pass. They'll be throwing the ball like crazy. And the thing about Mahomes, when you look at him after a loss, I went through all of his games in the last couple of years after a loss. The guy is 14-3 after a loss, and he basically takes over the game. He's not waiting for help. He now knows that the defense isn't what they used to be, and he'll be very aggressive, and he's going to take advantage of having Worthy back. I looked at Worthy. Even Worthy, I don't know if he's a great player, if he's a good player. I don't know, but I know the quarterback makes him as good as he can be. When that guy plays, the Chiefs are 15-4, and there's a target that's going to take advantage of this secondary stuff that's going on. I'd have a hard time, and I love Detroit. I'd have a hard time. Kansas City with their backs to the wall, not as good as they have been. The division's slipping away as Denver annihilates the Jets. I think you're going to see the best Kansas City has to give. And when Chris Jones admitted you got to play to the whistle, I think, and I know, every camera is going to be on Chris Jones, waiting for him to have a kind of taken off play, which he's fairly famous for. He'll play really hard in this game. Mahomes is coming out throwing, and they're going to be able to get some stuff going. I think Kansas City wins this one, and probably maybe a late surge to come back from being down. Very hard to stop that Detroit run game and their pass game as well. But Kansas City, I wouldn't bet against them at home coming off a loss. Not with Mahomes.
Pat, we're pressed for time here. But now that it's fully played out, the Arizona Cardinals situation, what the running back did, what the coach did, then the apology, the fine by the team to the coach, the running back is not cut. Your thoughts on what went down in Arizona?
Pressure bust pipes. That coach is feeling it. and he was frustrated. You know, it's hard to be the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. It's hard to coach Kyler Murray if you're trying to win a division. He's not that guy. He gets sacked way too much for a guy who's quick as he is. How true to the scheme do you think he is, or is he Mr. Ad Lib all the time? He's been sacked 9 times in 2 weeks. That's him not knowing where to go with the ball. A lot of pressure. Do I think the coach will probably get fired at the end of the year? Probably. This is Arizona, the Jets, name them. We know that in Chicago, they run coaches out because they don't know what else to do with a bad football team.
Chicago and Washington Monday night. Last year, it made the Washington Commanders and it derailed the Bears' season. Same thing this year?
Well, I like Washington with Jaden on the road. I love that Jim Miller actually said, Chicago's going to have revenge in their heart. I said, well, they have revenge every other week. What are you talking about? That's not a factor.
That had to hurt.
He did. He said we're going to break right after I said that.
He's Pat Kirwan. The show he goes to break with is Moving the Chains. Weekdays 3 to 7 on NFL radio. Saturdays 2 to 5 during the season. Sundays it's CBS's NFL Today show. Pat joining us courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, all points in between. Pinchers where you can't fake fresh. And Pat and all our guests joining us on the American Paint Supplies hotline. Have a great weekend.
Stone crab season in 5 days. You better get your butt down here.
It's also the opening of hockey season. I'm coming down soon, maybe next week.
All right. We'll transfer those tickets to you soon enough.
Be good, boys. Have a great weekend. Happy travels, David.
Thanks, Pat. We're going to break now. Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, travel's fun.
Oh, that was funny.
Next week's not bad. Next week is Madison, Wisconsin to Detroit. So
Who's Wisconsin play?
Ohio State.
Okay. They'll get blown out but Matt, you've been there a bunch. Madison,
Haven't been in 30 years though.
But it is one of the great places to be on a Saturday with a home game.
Yep.
I'm not saying the atmosphere. I know the jump around thing's cool and all that, but the game is secondary to what an amazing town that is. And I haven't been in over 30 years as well, but I remember I had no expectations, and we went to see Western Michigan play Wisconsin because I had a buddy that just moved there, and I was driving back to East Lansing with him. His dad flew me out, and we're sitting at the Student Union, which serves beer, watching a blues band looking at the lake going, our student union doesn't serve beer. There's no bar in our student union.
Right.
What the hell is this?
Uh-huh. Ohio State and their fans will be thrilled. The game's at 3:30.
$2:30 Central.
Look at Fly Panda Fly, looking to bet the WNBA finals tonight.
I think David's best bet tonight, the one I would agree with, is the Fresno State game. Colorado State is not good. I've had to put them on for my wife. They're not good. They're on the road, and it's less than a touchdown. I'm amazed that line's not higher.
Fresno State's on the road, yeah. I think Colorado State's home, aren't they?
Oh, are they? I thought it was the other way around. You may be.
I think Fresno's on the road.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there you go. That they are.
I still think they win by 7
Not
or
like
more.
there's going to be more than 10 people there anyhow.
Right.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. We make our NFL picks coming up at the top of the hour. We have struggled the last 2 weeks. We both got off to terrific starts on this NFL season, just picking straight up winners. But last 2 weeks, we've barely been 500. Missed out on the upsets and what have you. So what happens this week?
Well, I mean, we've both started out 0-1.
Right? Although I would have been 1-0 against the number. But yes, I did not think the Giants would win. I did not see the points in the game. I mean, the game almost was over in the first half. I mean, 20-17 at the half, and the Eagles had a chance to score at the end of the first half and loused it up. I mean, that surprised me more than anything, Mark.
But that's coming up in about 20 minutes' time. Let's look at what is a terrific Saturday, David. In fact, we can even start tonight. And you pick South Florida, the games now. I mean, it's fluctuated between a half point and a point and a half. I loved the fact, and I like your pick. I love the fact that North Texas is favored. I don't think coaches get into point spreads, but I think players are aware. I think the coach can use the fact that they think we're going to lose this game, and they're undefeated, so there's no reason for Alex Golish to not be able to let his team know that they're playing a good team tonight. North Texas is as much in the mix for the berth in the playoff as anyone. As you said, level of competition has not been there, but they can score. That's the one thing about the mean green. I mean, 66.5 is the over-under. We should see some fireworks tonight.
South Alabama, Army, Washington State, who's horrendous, might be the worst group. Washington State, Oklahoma State right now. Oh, wow. What a game that would be. Western Michigan, Lamar. That's been the level of competition for North Texas. We all know that South Florida has already played. Boise beat them. Florida beat them. Miami got whacked. Okay, but I'm sorry. South Florida is better than North Texas until proven otherwise. Now, Mark, they just have to if this program is going to go to the next level, Golish has had back-to-back 7 and 6 seasons. They have not been a serious contender in the American yet. You go on the road, you win this game. Why? You're better.
We both picked Alabama and laid the small number against Missouri. Missouri, offensively, they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4th in the nation in total yards. They're 3rd in the nation running the ball. They're 7th in points. But will they be able to run it against Alabama as effectively as they've run the ball all year long? I don't think so. And at the end of the day, those receivers from Alabama, Missouri's pass defense has been great. 7th in the nation. Now that's against the 6th best passing team in college football. We both like Alabama.
Missouri is yet to play a road game this year, and this will be their 6th game of the season. The toughest level of competition they've played, though, Kansas, they won by 11. South Carolina, they won by 9. And I think that's the game the South Carolina quarterback got hurt in, right?
No, he got hurt in the Vanderbilt game.
Okay, my apologies. But this is a step up for me.
Yes.
I'm shocked that this line, opened in the 4.5 to 5 range. I thought it would go up to 6.5, and instead it's gone down to 2.5. I'm shocked.
David, this is even bigger than going cruiserweight to heavyweight, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that allowed me to get cruiserweight out during the show. Ohio State and Illinois, this line's dropped also. It's 14.5 now. It was as high as 16.5. Do you think the Fighting Bielamas have anything for the Buckeyes? And at the end of the day, can Illinois score against Ohio State? They couldn't score against Indiana.
Yeah, I know that they're healthier now than they were then. But, Mark, that's just it. I mean, realistically, if you're going to upset Ohio State, if you're going to upset the Alabamas of the world, you got to put some points on the board. And right now, I don't know who's going to put points on the board against Ohio State, and I don't think it's going to be Illinois. I mean, right now, over under 21 for Illinois. 20.5, if I gave you the over-under for Illinois, where would you go?
Under.
Right. And
I'd
so
like under 17.5, David.
Which is why, I mean, come on. Think of the effort it would take if Illinois is only scoring 17 for them to win tomorrow.
Without a special team score, without a turnover that gives them a possession in a short field, I don't see how they can score enough points to hang. You already picked Cincinnati and laid the points. Pitt is getting 10.5 against the Noles. UCF is getting 10.5 against Cincinnati. Which road team has a better shot to cover?
Oh, Pitt. I mean, come on. Sorry, and then I hope UCF fan doesn't take this the wrong way, but until proven otherwise, I mean, come on. UCF's done virtually nothing so far in their 2.25 years in the Big 12, and they're not good on the road, and their quarterback's hurt again. Sorry, can't trust you. I just can't. And Cincinnati has proven Cincinnati probably should be undefeated.
Thank you. They outplayed Nebraska.
Right, and lost on a neutral field, and why they gave up that home game, we know why they did it. Money, they never should have.
Oregon laying 7.5. It was one of my picks. What do you think Indiana's chances are? You're going to be at the game. You've dived into this a little more than most games because you're working it. So what do you think? What do you think?
If Indiana's offensive line can hold up, I think they've got a shot to cover, barely. I would be very surprised if they won. To me, they'd have to score points off a turnover. To me, I just see Oregon as, even if Indiana can hold up to Oregon, which I don't know that they can. Mark, I think why do I have this feeling that the first quarter and a half, that Indiana's scripted stuff, game plan stuff, that Signetti will have them a little off balance. But then when the game settles in, Oregon's just more talented.
And far more physical, in my opinion, as well. We both picked Oklahoma against the number. It's 1.5. I don't know if Mateer's going to play. I don't know how effective he's going to be. But we both look at it as Oklahoma's defensive line far superior than Texas's offensive line. Archie's going to be running his you-know-what off again this week. Can he do it to get enough points for Texas? I don't think so.
If he and they lose this game, things do start to heat up in Austin. You know, you lose to Ohio State, you lose to Florida. This is Oklahoma.
Right, and A&M's still looming out
right
there.
And if A&M wins Saturday night, and now you look across, Texas Tech is unbeaten in the top 10, A&M is unbeaten, maybe in the top 5. Okay, and right, this is a monster game for Arch and Sark.
All right, Florida and A&M. I didn't have the guts to play this game. I think that DJ on the road, it's going to be tough. It's going to be loud. It's going to be hard for them to hear. Can they make plays downfield against A&M? Maybe. A&M's defense has been really good, in the last few weeks. They were vulnerable against Notre Dame. Can Florida take advantage the way Notre Dame, even though they lost, but they scored a ton of points? They're going to have to be similar, and that young receiver is going to have as big a game this week as he did last week.
Let's just say the receiver's worth the touchdown. They played at Miami. They scored 7. They played at LSU. They scored 10. Don't we have to make them prove it before we jump on the wagon? If you know what I mean. It's one thing to score 29 at home, which was good. That's a breakthrough. That's where they needed to get. But don't you have to make Sunbelt Billy and banged up DJ prove it on the road against a legit top 10 team before you jump into the deep end on the Gators?
Yes, 100%. I picked Michigan with my heart. You heard that right. There are reasons behind it, but can Michigan score enough? USC's defense is bad, but USC can score points. Can Michigan offensively keep up with USC?
Well, I think so, because USC's defense they can rush the passer, Mark. That they can do. They can't do much of anything else. So if you're Michigan, I just think you just be patient. Run the ball a little bit. Your defense will get stops. USC's offense is really good. Their quarterback is really good. Okay. And their head coach is a really good play caller. But Mark, I think that this could be like Oregon, Indiana. USC, the first quarter plus, okay. And then when the game settles in, I think it favors Michigan.
How much trouble is Hugh Freeze in after Saturday? Because I don't think Auburn can score enough to keep up with Georgia. Georgia's offense is pretty good. They've got some good skill guys. I don't love Georgia's defense, but Auburn doesn't show me much on that side of the ball to scare me if I'm Georgia.
I don't know why folks in Auburn, why are you trying to fire Hugh Freeze now? I mean, honestly, name me the game that they've lost that you expected to win. Seriously, what am I missing here? I actually thought they got off to a pretty good start this year. They're a bottom half team in the SEC this year. I don't understand. They lose to Georgia and you're going to fire them? Seriously? I know you want to win this game, but Mark, what am I missing? You mean to tell me you're expecting to beat the Dogs just because it's a rivalry game? What the hell makes you, come on, what the hell makes you think you're going to beat the Dogs? And so if you lose, you're going to fire them? They lost to the 9th-ranked team in the country by 6 on the road. They went toe-to-toe with Oklahoma and got absolutely screwed by the officials. I mean, seriously, what is everybody's problem? I don't get it.
LSU's at home for South Carolina. South Carolina's defense hasn't been very good, but LSU's one-dimensional. It's a really big number. Brian Kelly, you better cover the 9.5. I'm telling you right now, you need to win and win decisively over South Carolina. And I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I don't know if you can cover either. So far, based on how the offense has played, you can't. This is probably the healthiest South Carolina is going to be for the rest of the year because of that staggeringly difficult 5-game stretch that they begin this week against LSU, when LSU at 11 is the worst ranked team that South Carolina will play over the next 5 games. Because after LSU, it's Oklahoma, Alabama, Ole Miss, and A&M. Currently, those teams are ranked 6th, 8th, 4th, and 5th.
Look, I happened to watch the game because I went to one of the schools. Michigan State had shots against Nebraska. That was in Lincoln. Nebraska goes to Maryland. Maryland should have beat Washington last week. They're going to be honked off. And I think their quarterback at Maryland, this freshman's pretty good. Almost played this game, probably should have. Might even play the money line on Maryland come Saturday, David.
Ooh.
6.5.
Ooh. To me, this is all emotionally. Can Maryland overcome? They were up 20-0 on Washington, 20-3 in the fourth quarter at home, and they lost. To me, this is a coaching week.
Yes, 100%.
This is a coaching week, okay, in Landover.
Couple of Big 12 games. We got about a minute. Arizona State's on the road. They're ranked. They're getting 8.5 against Utah. You know what Vegas thinks of Arizona State. And BYU is only a 2.5-point favorite on the road in Arizona.
Okay, weather could be a big factor in BYU, Arizona. They're thinking about moving the start time of the game up because of that storm that's out west. Mark, the Arizona State quarterback, got ruled out last night. Not going to play. They're going to have to play their backup. The line jumped from 4 to 8.5.
And Utah still pretty physical. A lot of people still think that is the best team in the Big 12, although Texas Tech took it to them in a way that we really didn't see coming. They out-physicaled Utah. That doesn't happen to the Utes very often. When we come back, we will go through the NFL schedule this weekend. Miller and Moulton on a Football Friday.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
Shoeless Joe's Sports Cafe, inside the DoubleTree by Hilton. Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers, a classic sports bar with an outdoor deck. Then in October, we'll have all the playoff baseball. College football, they are home to the Ohio State fan club. NFL action, the start of both the NHL and NBA seasons. Never mind trivia, karaoke, bingo, all part of the entertainment package at Shoeless Joe's. Good food, good times, good sports. Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
This is Miller and Moulton.
It would be fascinating, Adam, if they get that game. I'll tell you that much. If they win at A&M, that would impress me. It really would. And this is the game. This is the type of game that A&M loses.
It is.
Totally is. Just when you think they're good, they screw it up.
So, TJ from Floor Meisters has a nephew that goes to A&M. He walks into the dining hall yesterday, and the big menu board, electronic, says Gator Alley, blackened gator bites. So they were serving gator yesterday in the mess hall.
Lisa Spooner, when I sent out the show text, she's like, who you taking in the A&M Florida game? She's an Aggie.
Oh, big Aggie.
And she's she was like Miss Texas, for crying out loud.
Yes, she was. Yep.
I don't know. She moved her daughter to another gymnastics place. There's two in Fort Myers. And when Ian hit, they were closed for so long. A lot of people moved to the other place because they got open more quickly. And she stayed there. So I don't ever see her anymore. I used to run into her quite a bit. She's very nice.
Yes, she is.
I like Lisa. She's a nice lady. And she gets up earlier than we do. She gets up at like 2:45 or whatever. I mean, she starts at 4:30, I think.
Yep.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the bonus hour of Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Jacksonville, Tampa, St. Pete, Southwest Florida. Thanks for listening. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Talked a lot of football, the baseball playoffs. What an ending in Los Angeles. They'll remember it in Philadelphia for a very long time. What a sports night in Philly last night. Oofta.
And by what a sports night, a horrible sports night.
Unless you're hosting a talk show in Philadelphia, then it was phenomenal. And so's today, the weekend, and early next week.
I don't know if I would call it phenomenal. I would call it easy. I think that it's easier and more phenomenal when your teams are winning. And now they have a lot of questions about their Eagles. They have a bunch of unanswered questions about where the Phillies go from here. And just for good measure, the Flyers lost too.
Right. It was a trifecta.
Unbelievable.
Week 6 in the NFL, though, is upon us. Last week, strange week. First off, we had big upsets, teams winning games we didn't think they were ready to win. Denver and Philadelphia, New England and Buffalo, Jacksonville at home against Kansas City. But also, home teams were 4-10 last week. 4-10.
All right, let's pick some winners. You and I are in a dead heat right now. A dead heat. I had the early edge. You have come back and tied me. In fact, I think you had the early edge. I overtook you. Now we're dead even.
Let's
see how many we disagree on this week.
All right.
Sunday morning, Denver and the Jets in London. Right? Are they in London?
They are.
They play so many overseas games now. I got to make sure I've got the right damn country. Yes, London. We don't do point spreads in this. We're just picking winners. But for what it's worth, Denver is 6.5-point favorite. David already took Denver and laid the points. I agree. They're not losing to the Jets. The Jets are 0-4 again, and they're just a mess right now.
You said it earlier when we had Pat Kirwan on. Do you know how remarkable it is to play 5 games and not force a turnover? I mean, you just didn't have your opponent just mishandle the ball. Not even you do anything, and they mishandle it, and you fall on it. 5 games, 20 quarters, they haven't forced a single turnover? Yeah, that offense ain't good enough to overcome that.
All right, Arizona at Indianapolis. We've spent more time this week talking about the Cardinals than we have in the history of Miller and Moulton, and we are in our 20th year. They're going to lose. I'm sorry. The coach gets fined because the player screwed up. Whatever. Give me Indianapolis.
They've lost 3 in a row. They've all been last-second field goals. Then you had the controversy, whatever you want to call it, from how that game ended and the coach's actions and an apology and a fine. But, Mark, just like in Miami, they're coming to the conclusion that 2 is not it. I think that conclusion is also being made in Arizona about Kyler Murray. I think Indy at home is the top 4 team in the AFC, to be honest with you. Give me the Colts.
Rams in Baltimore. I'm taking the Rams. Baltimore gives up more points than anybody. I know no one cares about anyone's fantasy team, but I damn near picked up Matt Stafford this week because he'll have a big day. Give me the Rams.
Until the Ravens, they haven't shown us defensively they can turn it around. They haven't shown us offensively they can get Derrick Henry going. The fact that the Rams lost 2 Thursdays ago, then they really need to win because the NFC West is so hard. And Mark, they've had 3 extra days of rest. Yeah, I really like the Rams.
Pittsburgh's hosting Cleveland. That generally means that the Steelers win. The Cleveland shipped out Flacco, Gabriel going again for the Browns. I'll take Pittsburgh at home against a team that can't score.
Same as you, although not sure about a cover, but I'll take the Steelers to win.
Jacksonville and Seattle. David already took Seattle, and he had to lay 1.5, I believe, in this one. So I know you're taking the Seahawks. Duval. I'm taking Liam Cohen. I'm taking the Jags. Let's go, Jacksonville.
How impressive would this 3-game stretch be? At San Francisco, home for Kansas City, and home for a 10-win team from a year ago who's off to a 3-2 start this year? This would be as impressive a 3-week run as this franchise has had in a long time.
Chargers at Miami. I have made my feelings known this week about the Chargers. To hell with you. I'm done. You're banged up. You can't run the football even against Miami. I'm taking the Dolphins at home.
It doesn't matter who the running back is. You can run on Miami. That'll set Herbert up. He's got big receivers. The Dolphins have small corners. Also, it's the whole Herbert Tua thing. Drafted one behind the other. It's a thing both ways. I'll take the Chargers.
Dallas at Carolina. I know that Dak is playing incredibly well. He is. For whatever reason, though, the Carolina Panthers have been good at home, terrible on the road. Just when everybody thinks things are going well in Dallas, they stub their toe. I'm taking Carolina at home.
I'm taking the Cowboys because they can win a shootout with anybody. And I do think this will be a bit of a shootout. I'm not sure it's good that Chubba Hubbard's coming back this week. I would have stayed with Dowdell, who's got to grind against the Cowboys. He rushed for 1,000 yards for them last year. They didn't even offer him a contract. He is honked. I'd feed him, but give me Dak.
New England at New Orleans. Do the Patriots keep on keeping on after an incredible and a great performance last week? When they didn't just beat Buffalo, they outplayed Buffalo. I say they beat New Orleans. Give me the Pats.
I'm taking the Patriots also because, the Saints needed five turnovers to beat the Giants. The Saints didn't really beat the Giants. The Giants beat the Giants. I don't think the Saints can beat the Patriots.
Tennessee at Vegas. These are 2 bad teams. They really are. But Tennessee's done in more ways than one. They're going to have a new coach at the end of the year. Pete's had enough. I think Vegas gets the win, David.
If the Arizona running back had scored and it was 28-6, how do we think that game ends? And would anybody have any doubt as to who they were picking this week? So, yeah, I'm taking the Raiders.
San Francisco at Tampa Bay. I don't even know who's playing quarterback for the Niners. The receivers are banged up. The defense is, this team is a mash unit. Tampa, while banged up, they're not in as rough a shape as San Francisco. I think Baker gets it done at home. Give me the Bucs.
The Bucks have struggled with the Niners home and away for what that's worth in recent years, but I do think San Francisco, Mac Jones is going to play. He's not going to be healthy. I think Tampa Bay wins.
Cincinnati at Green Bay. I got a couple of questions for you. Does Green Bay cover one? And does Cincinnati have more points than times they get sacked? It's easy to pick Green Bay. I think we're both doing that. But how many times does Flacco, if he plays, get sacked?
Flacco expected to play. He will get rid of the ball more quickly than Jake Browning, but I do think he gets sacked over under 4.5.
Over
under 5.5.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm 5 is my number as well. It's a big number, though. It's 14.5. I'd lay it, though. I really would. I think Green Bay puts a spanking on them.
Sunday night, great game. Detroit at Kansas City. You heard Pat give the numbers recently in the last time. If you didn't, what is he, 14-3 after a loss, Mahomes? The Detroit secondary is a mess. I'm pulling for the Lions. I do root for them. I don't lose any sleep if they lose, and I'm not going to lose any sleep when they lose this one. Give me Kansas City.
I'm going to take the Lions. They're more well-rounded. The Chiefs have already lost once this year after losing the week before. So I think I don't think the Chiefs are the same. I know the Lions secondary is a mess, and Holmes and company were nearly 500 yards last week. And I like teams that lose on Monday Night Football. I don't know why I'm taking the Lions, but I'm going to take Detroit.
Buffalo is not losing 2 in a row. They go to Atlanta. I don't have a lot of faith in the Falcons, although their defense has actually been pretty good this year outside of that Carolina game. I'll take Buffalo.
I'm going to take the Falcons. I'm really down on the Bills' defense. And, Buffalo stole that game against Baltimore. How would we feel about the Bills if they were the record that they should be? Seriously. Buffalo's yet to play a complete game. Falcons aren't on national television that often. Trust me, in a few places, it's still a big deal. The Jags were fired up to be on Monday Night Football. They said Jags players said next to a playoff game, that's as big a showcase as we get, whether it's true or not. Give me Atlanta. Come on, Buffalo, get your act together. I'm doubting you. Get it together.
And finally, the game you'll work. We'll talk more about it on Monday, Chicago at Washington. These are the other two quarterbacks that are going to be measured against one another throughout their careers. I like the guy in Washington. I liked him before he was drafted. I liked him last year. I like him now. I'm hoping McLaurin's back for him. I'll take the Commanders.
I do think this game's a little personal for the Bears. I think they're much better coached this year. The quarterback will play better this year. And remember, he led them to a come-from-behind lead, which should have been a win last year. I'm going to take a flyer on the road team, Mark.
6 games we differ on. 6. That's the NFL slate. We'll talk a little baseball when we come back. Miller and Moulton on a Football Friday.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
This is Miller and Moulton.
It's a good point, RCB. I like that. I like where you're at with that one.
I'm so glad for you, obviously, because I know it kept you out. Well, now, if you decide to take a nap today, you should just sleep with a smile on your face. I'm probably going to doze after the show. I don't know if I'm going to doze immediately.
If Flacco beats the Packers twice, now that would be something. Because the difference is, RCB, is that the defense in Cleveland is just a touch better than what Cincinnati has. And by just a touch better, it's like a canyon. Because the Cincinnati defense sucks. But I like the pick. I like you. I like you going for it there. And as a sentimental Lions fan, I'd love to see Green Bay lose again. But come on.
But RCB, a really bad defense he's got now.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
The Football Friday. Miller and Moulton.
Friday.
Sorry, Mark. My bad. Miller and Moulton, MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Lee Sterling made his picks. He took the points in 4 of the picks that he had. I made 8 picks, 2 tonight, 4 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Mark sticking with Saturday. That's it. No Sunday. No game jumped out at him saying I'm willing to take or lay the points. Very interesting. Playing some big games also. I like it. And it's right off the top 25. You don't even have to go to the second sheet, if you know what I mean. Bama, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Oregon, IU, Texas Tech, Kansas, Michigan, USC. And for you, you took points in 2 of the 5 games. That's breaking news for you.
It is. It is. Like I said, the NFL, I think last week just scared the hell out of me, David.
I could see that. There are so many injuries too. You're wondering at what point, like it's started to affect the Chargers. It's yet to affect the Bucs and the Niners, but they're playing one another. So does it affect one of those 2 teams this week? I mean, the league's got it going on, even though I don't know how good the product is. And there seems to be a lot of laundry on the field lately, but boy, are the games tight, either upsets or tight. And that's a great product.
That's the league. David, what's crazy about that 49ers and Bucs game is that when you go to the injury report, there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, I think 10 questionable Niners, 1 doubtful, and that doesn't even get us into all of the players that are on the IR for San Francisco.
Right.
Bosa, Ayuk, Kittle. I mean, that's just the guys you know.
This is an epic run of injuries, even by NFL standards. It started midway through last year and devastated their season. Remember, they had to cut one of their 2 kickers in the second week of August because they needed the roster spot because they didn't have enough people to run good practices with. So they ended their kicking competition 3 weeks early, declared a winner, cut the other guy just so they could sign somebody to help them practice. Unreal.
And I will say, great point was brought up during the break. Flacco beat Green Bay with Cleveland. Little different defense in Cincinnati. But I do think this is a get-right game for Green Bay. Detroit just got done destroying them. By the time Monday comes around, you're going to listen to all the national people. Look at the Packers. They're the best team in the division. They're challenging for the NFC. And all of those things may be true. But I'm not going to take those leaps based on kicking the tar out of the Cincinnati Bengals. That's all.
Did you see the stat of the year so far in the NFL?
No. Stat of the year?
So far, unassisted tackles so far this season. Jamar Chase has more unassisted tackles than Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons has 4 unassisted tackles so far in his 4 games in Green Bay. 4. Jamar Chase has 5 because Jake Browning has thrown so many interceptions.
It's a hell of a stat.
Wasn't it?
Hell of a stat.
I know. And it's a little concerning. You're paying all that money. You're like, Micah, we might need a little more production than this, but
all right. Look, everybody knows who I'm rooting for when it comes to tonight's baseball game. But given the fact that Scooble's lost 3 times to Seattle and his ERA is twice as high against the Mariners as it is against the rest of baseball, I'm a little surprised that Detroit's minus 125. I really am. I know they have the pitching matchup. I get it. They are on the road. This is a good lineup. And the Tigers, outside of 1 game in this postseason, I guess 2, one against Cleveland late, they broke out. The last game against the Mariners, the bats showed up. Their bats have not been there. So I don't give a damn who's pitching for Seattle. I'm stunned that you can get this kind of plus money on the Mariners tonight, David.
better pitcher. I think it's as simple as that. And I know the track record against Seattle this year, but the last game Seattle lost, Scooble got a no decision. He gave up 2 solo homers to the same guy in 7+. Put it this way, Mark. Would you take right now, I will give you what Scooble gave in game 2. Okay, and I'll get the official track here. He went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits. Would you take it right now? 7 innings, 2 runs allowed by Scooble, yes or no?
Yes, but I think the game would go extra innings.
Okay. And it almost did in game 2. It was 2-2. Mariners scratched out a run in the 8th and won it 3-2.
Now, I don't expect Scooble to come out after 7. If he does, I will be texting Moulton while he's on his cross-country flight, all foul language.
And he threw 97 pitches in game 2. I'm with you, Mark. Normally, these days, okay, I get it, 7 innings, 97, we're going to take him out. If that's the case tonight, he's thrown 97 pitches through 7. They're tied or he's got the lead. Oh, yeah, he's going back out to start the 8th.
Yeah,
we may be going batter by batter, but he's going out to start the 8th.
You're damn right. And other than the guy that hit the 2 jacks against him, unless he's coming up, I'm making sure he keeps pitching.
The one thing I will say, the Mariners have scored runs twice in this series off Finnegan. All right, something to keep in mind because their 2 best pitchers, Scooble, Finnegan, right?
Well, and Vest is the closer, so I want Scooble to hand the ball to Vest if they're going to do anything. That's the only way.
Okay.
I wouldn't even have I don't care. If I got to get 4 outs out of my closer, then I'm going to try to get 4 outs out of my closer. That's all.
I'm so torn. You know I love aces. Also, we never root against each other's teams, but I got a soft spot for Seattle because they've never been to the World Series. Also, the Tigers did nothing at the deadline. Seattle went out and got 2 bats, which they desperately needed. There's a part of me that wants to reward the organization that actually did the right thing.
No doubt. And if Detroit doesn't win, trust me, they are going to be so angry with that general manager for the lack of moves at the deadline. They needed a veteran bat. They needed another arm. I mean, before this thing started going south for Detroit, there were needs on that team.
Yep.
All right. Tomorrow night, Cubbies and Brewers. Home teams won every game. The Brewers were the better team for 162. But the season series was only separated by a game. These 2 teams played each other tough all year long. We don't know who's pitching yet because, well, that's baseball in 2025.
Okay, Brewers did an interesting thing yesterday. They pitched Peralta, their ace. Now, he gave up a 3-run homer in the first and got beat. It was 4 days rest. Peralta can handle pitching on 4 days rest. A lot of pitchers these days like 5 days rest. There was debate, Mark, as to whether the Brewers should have gone all in with their best pitcher yesterday or held him back so that A, they could use him game 5, but also B, if they could find a way to win without him, they would have had him for game 1 of the LCS. But they pitched him and got beat.
They've played 17 games this year. The Cubs have won 9. How come I think the season series is going to end up 9-9 and the Brewers move on? I am a Cubs fan. This goes back from being a kid and the Cubs playing during the day and Harry Carey and watching them after school. I've got nothing against the Brewers. Milwaukee won a World Series. They were the Milwaukee Braves. They've never won one as the Brewers. They've only been to one, right?
82 as the Brewers. I'll go Milwaukee for this reason. They scored 16 runs in the 2 games at home. They scored 3 runs in the 2 games at Wrigley. They're home. I'll take Milwaukee. Differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
This is a hard press this morning. I did not realize how early my tea time is.
Oh, really?
Oh, God. I've been trying to get a hold of my mother the whole show so she could literally meet me at the clubhouse with my cart to save me the extra 3 minutes to drive to her house and the 5 to drive back. I will be running to the first tee. If I do anything, if I play the first 4 holes in less than 6 over, I'll be really happy because I won't take a swing. And when you can't play golf when you're running.
Can Can you lobby with the guys and say, listen, I need mulligans on like the first two holes
God,
off the,
oh,
off the
God,
tee?
no. Never.
Come on, none of those guys had a job this morning.
It doesn't matter. There's more than just the four of us playing. It's like 20 guys in a group. Hell no. No. Plus, that's not allowed. I play golf. I don't play this recreational crap where you get hit 2 off the first tee. That's for rec golfers. That's
when
not
you get no warm up. I mean, they got to stop scheduling you at 10:18. Enough already. Give you a fighting chance there, laddie. Oh, I got so spoiled last week. I didn't have to pack up my equipment. Got to stay home, do the shows. Get an extra 3 nights in my own bed. Oh. I'm so going to enjoy next year when I only have to do the one game. Have a life. Well, let's not get carried away. Fam forever, you got it. I love that sequence when he puts Russell Wilson in the game and he was hoping it was only for one play, but the trainer didn't clear Dart quickly enough, so he had to leave Wilson in for a second play, and he throws an incompletion. They have to punt, and Dable is screaming at the trainer as the trainer's going, he's good to go back in. And Dable's like, I needed him 30 seconds ago. I will say I like Dable. He's got to calm down. He's just he is screaming and yelling a little bit too much. Take it easy there, big fella.
I'm running out after, so I got an appointment at 10:15, so I can't stay. Okay, I'll just tell him you're not available. Okay, yeah, I'll call him. Who are the Duluth Huskies, David?
Hockey?
Baseball. There's some guy here that wants.
He listens to the show. He did play-by-play during the summer of the baseball team.
Okay, you know me, an unscheduled appointment. The guy's here and wants to talk to me. It's like I'm leaving.
I thought he just sent you like a.
No, Adam's here. Handed me the card. He's here to see you. It's like.
I have no idea. I thought.
I thought you can text. There's a million ways to get a hold of me.
Right. He emails me. I just thought he sent you like a shirt.
No, he's here.
Oh, well, that's, yeah, you got to clear that beforehand.
At 9.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes until we're out of here, not just for the day, but for the week. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. We've made our picks. We've broken down football, baseball. Yes, there's hockey and other stuff this weekend. Enjoy. Time now for...
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
1845 is where we start today because the Naval School opened. You now know it as the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis. David, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing for Milwaukee, but if the game were today, I would have clearly put money on the Brewers because today in 57, the Milwaukee Braves win Game 7 at Yankee Stadium to win the World Series. For the record, Lou Burdett was 3-0. He had the win in the 5-0 shutout. 66, the Beach Boys release Good Vibrations. Kind of a biggie for them. 68, Lolich beats Gibson 4-1 for the Tigers to beat the Cardinals in 7.
Are you feeling the karma then? Are you feeling the karma? Historic day in Tigers history. Winner deciding game of a series on the road. Huh?
I like it. 73, Spiro Agnew resigns due to allegations of tax fraud. Today in 80, although they didn't play in 79, they played 3 times, 76, 77, 78. The Yankees won all of them. Today in 80, the Royals sweep the Yankees to win the AL. Today in 82, I don't usually go league championship series, but I did for this reason. St. Louis beat the Braves, but the Brewers beat the Cardinals. It was the Brewers' only trip to the World Series. Hair metal was big today in 87, David.
Yes, it was.
Whitesnake's Here I Go Again is the #1 song in the land. The video with Tanya Katane on the Jaguars. A year later, U2 releases their live album, Rattle and Hum. 94, Lawrence Taylor's 56, retired by the Giants. 2004, Christopher Reeve dies at the age of 52. And today in 2018, Hurricane Michael makes landfall near Mexico Beach in Florida as a Category 4 hurricane. Couple of musicians. Jazz great Thelonious Monk and an incredible songwriter John Prine would have celebrated birthdays today, as would actor Chris Penn. Peter Mahavlich, 4 cups and a Canada's Cup. He's 79. David Lee Roth is 71. He's still performing. He shouldn't be. Brett Favre is 56. I wish our old producer was here. He'd make me take a moment. Mario Lopez from Saved by the Bell is 52. Feel old? Chris Pronger, great hockey player, Hall of Famer, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. are both 51. Troy Tulowitzki is 41. Andrew McCutcheon is 39. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling is 31. What did I miss, David?
You hit everything that I had. Well done, sir. Well done.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to South Carolina for the good, where Casey Hill is the town clerk in Utahville, South Carolina. And she was helping out at the Crappy Classic and Fall Festival on Saturday when she heard rumors of a loose monkey running through town. She teamed up with the local mayor to capture the spider monkey. They did so by luring the monkey with a hot cup of coffee. No word on whether the monkey wanted cream, sugar, or cream and sugar. I'm guessing both. For the bad, we go to Inglewood. Always up to no good. This is Inglewood in Florida, where Christina Steed, a 25-year-old woman from Virginia, is accused of scamming an Inglewood resident out of $1,500 by pretending to be a bank employee. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office said that she called the victim claiming to be their bank account or working for the bank. An account was compromised and convinced them to send $1,500 through Zelle to Christina. She has pleaded not guilty. And finally, for the ugly, we go to Fort Myers Beach, where, well, Mr. Waves Island Bar was crashed into by a drunk driver. Fortunately, there was a wall, a cement wall, to help the bar. They needed it because Skylar Schwarbeck crashed his car into the wall. Imagine that. He had bloodshot eyes, stunk of alcohol, and had slurred speech. His passenger confirmed they were coming from a different bar. That, David, is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, Friday, November the 10th. And the good, the bad, and the ugly is brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department. Hiring new officers, signing bonuses, great pay. David, where do they go?
CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com.
CapeCops.com.
Feel like we're selling washers and dryers.
Oh, there's no doubt. There is no doubt. It is fantastic. Because now I know at some point you're going to be on one of these flights. You're going to be strolling through an airport because I know you're not getting to Oregon without at least one stop. And you're going to see a officer and you're just getting your head going to be going, CapeCops.com.
That and the ad that we're mimicking, which ran about 10, 12 years ago in Southwest Florida. And the person doing the ads midway through would go, "It's from Cleveland, folks." And so between, CapeCops.com, every time I see a police officer, and any reference or me seeing something which is Cleveland, yes, Mark, I have been for the last couple of weeks walking around in my head screaming one or the other.
No hockey tonight.
Right. Very
16
weird.
Games tomorrow. Everybody plays tomorrow. No one plays today.
I mean, is this because of college hockey? Is this because of high school football?
I don't know. I don't know why they're taking. I know, someone pointed out, and we've said it on the show for years, Friday night, not a good TV night, but it's a good night for attendance.
Right.
And hockey lives on the gate. So I don't get it at all. They're going head-to-head with a monster college football weekend across the country. Not one part of the country that doesn't have a big football game tomorrow.
I will say, strange night in college hockey last night. 3 of the top 4 teams in the country lost. But anyway, it's a great college football weekend, which you could argue, even though there were 4 games yesterday, they were of the lesser variety. Big game in the American tonight. 2 unbeaten teams in the conference, South Florida and North Texas. North Texas is unbeaten, period, and they're a 1.5 favorite. 7:30 ESPN2. Then a couple games at 9 o'clock. Washington with just the one conference loss, and that to Ohio State, hosting Rutgers, 9 o'clock FS1. 9 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. Life in the Mountain West, at least for another year for these schools. Fresno State visiting Colorado State. The reason Rutgers and Washington is on FS1 is because the baseball game's getting the big Fox treatment. Tigers and Mariners, 9 o'clock tonight. Actually, 8 o'clock tonight, Tigers and Mariners. 8 o'clock tonight, first pitch, 8:08, Adam Amin and Fox.
57 years after Lolich delivers the World Series in Game 7, can the Tigers, with their ace on the hill, get it done against the Mariners?
Tarek Skubal against George Kirby. Mariners, their best starting pitcher throughout the year, missing this series against the Tigers because he strained something in his rib cage. Maybe he'll be back for the LCS. This is the advantage the Tigers have tonight. They did not see their best pitcher in Seattle, and they get to send their best pitcher to the hill.
Did the Bats stay awake for Detroit? They woke up in Game 4. What do they do tonight?
They did not score a bunch of runs in Seattle. Neither team did. The first 2 games of the series were 3-2 each way. So a total of 5 runs scored by the 2 teams in 2 games in Seattle.
Give me 3 runs now as a Tiger fan. Give me 3 runs now, and I'll take my chances.
I'm with you. You score 3 tonight and you don't win, you go, oh, well, Gave it our best shot. I'm with you.
Gators tomorrow night at A&M. Knowles at noon hosting BC. UCF on the road in Cincinnati. The Canes have the week off. Dolphins, home for the Chargers. Bucks, home for the Niners. Jags, home for Seattle.
So Herb Street's spotter is part of the Monday Night Football crew. He doesn't do what he does for Kirk Herbstreit. He's in the booth and he is talking to the truck, kind of letting them know where they are in terms of the huddle and what have you, and helping to make sure we don't miss a snap and a couple of other things. Okay. So I said to him Monday night, I go, Tony, you guys are going to be in Eugene for game day, right? He goes, yeah. I said, doesn't Kirk always do Oklahoma, Texas? He goes, oh, yeah, we're doing it again. I go, Tony, can you get from Eugene to Oregon and make kickoff in 3.5 hours? I go, that seems pretty tight. He goes, yeah, we're leaving game day a half hour early. I go, so Kirk's not going to be there for the picks? He goes, well, he's going to be in his car on the way to the jet, and he's going to still contribute to the show from the car. I go, really? I go, like morning television, weather when it's raining out? I go, are you going to be in the car with the windshield wipers? And he starts laughing. He goes, yeah, I've seen that locally too. He said, yeah, maybe. So
for the spotter's job, then, the guy is basically to pet the dog during those segments.
Maybe, or drive the car, which is often a spotter's job. But says for those that are paying attention tomorrow and you watch game day, my understanding is Herb Street's leaving with a half hour left in the show, still doing the show while in the car driving, and then Tony said when they did it a couple years ago, something similar, they got to the booth about 18 minutes before the broadcast. So there we go.
Hey, he's their number one college guy.
He's being compensated for it. He is.
He is very well, and he should be. He's been the number one guy for a long time, and people like he and his dog. So there you go.
Right. Yep.
Wag the dog, pet the dog, whatever the hell you got to
do. So just something to pay attention to. A, the end of game day, and then B, does he make kickoff?
Oh, he'll make kickoff. He'll make kickoff. That's an escort. That they'll be lined up for that.
I'll tell you what, though, that's tight, even with police escorts both ways, and that's a tight maneuver.
But college football fans don't arrive at the games right before kick like pro fans.
True.
I mean, that is the one thing. You're not going to have the traffic coming in that you would for an NFL game, if you will.
True. But just, something to pay attention to tomorrow in and around the games.
It's a great time of year, everybody. We love it. Baseball, hockey for those that you watch this time of year, college football Friday, Saturday with games that are of consequence all day long, and then a great NFL Sunday. We'll recap everything Monday morning and set you up for a Monday night doubleheader. Have a great weekend, everyone, and thanks so much for listening to Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Foolish Joe Sports Cafe, inside the Doubletree by Hilton. Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers, a classic sports bar with an outdoor deck. Then in October, we'll have all the playoff baseball. College football, they are home to the Ohio State fan club. NFL action, the start of both the NHL and NBA seasons. Never mind trivia, karaoke, bingo, all part of the entertainment package at Schuler's Joe's. Good food, good times, good sports. Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239